Well, hello. I know nobody's expecting me to be on today. I've just jumped on. I've been to choir. I feel so much better. It was just good to get away, have focus elsewhere. And I thought I'd come home. I'm very much caffeinated at the moment, filled with caffeine. I am not sleepy now. I'm wide awake. And having that time away did me a whole lot of good. So if you're watching the replay, welcome. If you're watching me live or you're going, hey, I didn't know you were live, surprise. Hey, Liz, welcome. So, yes, this is a surprise. It's amazing what going and being around people does. So, as I said, I went to choir. I feel so much better. I've come home wide awake and I've gone, you know what? I'm ready to deal. I can deal now. Had that time away. Hello, everybody. So sometimes you just have to, take a step back. But I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So you've just got me as I am. So we're ready now. So I want to show you the Instagram live because if you've seen, hey, that Amateur K, Michelle, Chickadee, Sarah Loves Donuts, Dawn B, Liz, hello, everybody. No kidding. I went to work last week after the big drama happened over 4 days off, and it was amazing. Yeah, it is actually. Just leaving the house, getting out. It was great. So I want to show you the Instagram first, the live first. I have to also tell you and give you a warning. It's very graphic. It's not pleasant. So if you may need to, I will understand if you actually need to leave and let me know or have me tell you when it's safe to come back. I don't know if all my screen stuff is, whether I'm just messing around with my screen at the moment, so I apologize. And then I want to show you the Facebook, the YouTube live, because we got 2 different Katie Joys. Now, she actually saved this on her Insta, so it doesn't have comments, but she actually turns the comments off because she was getting annoyed. But we have 2 different Katies here. And this was really, really bizarre. Hello, Sammy J. This is Sammy J's perfect time, isn't it? So the other thing is I've got a late night ahead of me anyway because I've got a report. I've got a report due tomorrow and I've got some other stuff to do. So I've got to wait for all that to upload. So I thought, why not do this first, eh? So this Instagram, now this is interesting because Paris Hilton has mentioned. Now, whenever she talks about this, I always think it's breaking my silence. But we're talking about the wrong influencer. So shall we get going? So as I said, I need to give you a warning. Thanks for showing this, Joe, because her YouTube live made her almost seem human. Yes, she did. And when you see this and you see the YouTube, you've got like 2 different Katies and they were within half an hour of each other. I swear she jumped from this one to YouTube. All right, so let's go. As I said, this one is going to may trigger. All right.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I guess it got paused. Okay, so anyways, welcome back. So there was a Dateline.
Yeah, Natalie, it was look, I must say I got excited. I got excited too when I saw it, but then I realized it was an old filing. Oh, thank you, Pretend. Yeah, it's just, I'm feeling lots better now I got out the house. So she's talking about something serious, first of all. She's talking about something serious, and she's got this stupid filter on. But that's just my opinion. How can you take her seriously?
So there was a lawsuit that was filed last week by Gloria Allred, and she is suing Turnabout Ranch, which is a school that is based in Utah, and it's a school that Dr. Phil has frequently sent his like troubled teens.
So you already know where this is going to go, right? Do you? You know where this is going to go? Yeah. Oops, did this just jump? Sorry.
Gloria Allred, and she is suing Turnabout Ranch, which is a school that is based in Utah, and it's a school that Dr. Phil has frequently sent his like troubled teens that come on the show. And Danielle Bergoli, who is Bad Baby, she spoke out about the abuse that she experienced when she was there, and talked about how when she was at...
So you've got the general tone of this? Yeah, okay. Yes. Oh, gosh, she's going to regurgitate this. Probably. Yes, she's probably going to regurgitate this, and she's going to probably regurgitate her YouTube live again.
This specific place, Turnabout Ranch, sent there by Dr. Phil. One of the kids that was there actually was in withdrawal and killed one of the staffers. So she talks about that. She talked about the experience that she had there. And I started looking into Dr. Phil.
I tell you what, I got through this. This is my third time watching it. I watched it a second time and did a video on it, and I couldn't get through it all. So I'm so glad you're all here, because this isn't going to be pleasant. This is a half-hour video. 2 half-hour videos to go through with you tonight. Yeah, Dutch, I decided I'd been out and I've come home, decided that I've got to be up half the night, so I may as well spend the night with you guys. I'll have an afternoon nap.
History of sending people to these schools. And the troubled teen industry is highly unregulated. It was actually founded by people from a cult. It's crazy. So back in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, there was this cult called Synonym.
So when you look at her Twitter, she did about 8 posts on this actual. She did 8 posts on this actual topic. So this is all over her Twitter as well. Remember, this was Sunday when she was supposed to be having a nice quiet day with her family. It is a very serious issue, and one of the few I agree with her on. Unfortunately, it does touch on every topic she loves to hate. She even gets to throw hate at her subs daring to ask questions as well. Yes. I'm not saying that it's not an important topic. It is an important topic. However, we know that she likes to jump on bandwagons. And we know also that she tarnishes everybody with the same brush. So, because right at the end, she sort of infers that parents that send their kids there are sort of irresponsible. So, yeah. So anyway, let's keep going.
Synonymous, or I don't even remember, or Synon. It's the most dangerous cults in the United States. The cult started out as like a place for, like, this guy was an alcoholic. He was really into AA, and he decided that he was going to start his own group. And it was supposed to be like a place for addicts that wasn't going to actually have therapists there. You're
right there, Amber Chick. The thing is, first of all, I can't take her seriously with that filter. Hey, Gail. Yeah, I came home from choir, decided to jump on. I can't take her seriously with that filter. And second of all, if she just said what she had to say and jumped off, we would be fine. But this is like, this goes on for 30 minutes. And as I said, she talks about it's Oprah's fault, and then it's Oprah's fault about Dr. Phil, and then Dr. Oz gets a mention. And I agree, Joe. I hate that filter so bad. Yeah, and like it's a serious topic. Why? No, we just need Rick. Yeah. Why is my question.
It's going to be like everyone holding everyone accountable, and they were going to like get clean together. And they started this thing called The Game. And the game was where everyone would sit there and scream at each other. So it would be somebody's turn, and they would get yelled at by whoever was in this group and tell them all the things that they like.
Now have a look at her hand, because I think she swapped her rings. I mean, I think she's got her wedding ring on her right hand and another ring on her left. Hello, Nana Kimber. But yeah, just see what. But as I said, you have to look at this one. No, I can't unsee it. It looks like a buck. It does actually. When we look at the YouTube one, you got two different Katies. It's really bizarre.
Disliked about this person, whether it was real or imaginary, and destroy the person's self-worth, self-confidence, so that they could like completely tear down the person to like build them back up, right? And over the years, the cult evolved to not only doing the game where they would do this, but it also turned into physical violence. So in the 1970s, they started taking in juvenile delinquents, and they quickly realized that.
And she touches it too. Oh dear.
Them. And then it became this like inclusive cult where people were not allowed to leave. They had members have their heads shaved. They had forced castration of men, forced abortions of women.
I did tell you that it was pretty graphic. So as I said, I apologize. This is still mild. It gets worse. So if you need to step away, I understand. And for those of you that think that she doesn't swear, she also starts on here too. So this is a completely different person.
No children were allowed to be born. And eventually the cult was disbanded because the leader and some of the other higher ups tried to kill a lawyer that was filing lawsuits against them because people that were trying to escape, they didn't want them to be sued, I guess. And so they put a freaking rattlesnake in a mailbox, a rattlesnake in the mailbox, right? And the lawyer goes to get his mail. This is in the late 1970s. And he gets bit by the rattlesnake.
You haven't, Nana Kimber. We're only 3 minutes 55 in. But she's just starting her rant. She's got to yell at her members yet. Yes, thank you, Gail.
Charles Dietrich, he ends up going to prison for attempted murder, along with other people from this cult. And you know the saying, today is the first day of the rest of your life? That's a saying that comes from that cult. So this cult leader, who is like crazy, he forced castration, forced abortions. He believed in like literally, he believed that literally like if you literally make people work hard and beat them up.
Well, this is the thing. Natalie. That's right. And I don't know how much of it is true because there's no sources quoted. I think she watched the documentary, from what I can work out. Tracy, this will be up. Yep. I'm not intending on having it go, Tracy. So it will be here.
Physically tore them down and physically abused them. That somehow that this would help people, right? So, anyways, all of these troubled teen industry schools started because after this disbanded, so after Synanon disbanded, former members of the cult decided that they were going to take the techniques that they had used in the game where they
yeah. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, great. Gail says, I may regret being on here with this KJ Live. I've seen the YouTube soon after, and it was a totally different person. It is. That's what absolutely shocked me. I have no idea about this story, honestly. I shouldn't say anything. Well, neither do I, Natalie. But what I do want to say is I don't know, like, I don't know what to think. But there's no sources, there's no websites to read. Oh, she does mention, I was going to say breaking my silence. That's not the website. She's attached herself to the thing that Paris Hilton's doing. But can't wait for Katie to come up with a better rehabilitation solution. She doesn't have one. No. Apparently they need psychologists and psychiatrists, but not Dr. Phil.
would like berate people and then physically assault people and do whatever means necessary to get people to comply and to obey. They were going to use those on teens to try to rehabilitate them. And so this group and all of their little members created all these little schools where it's called Tough Love. And the kids are sent to these schools like Provo Canyon, the one that Paris Hilton went to, or the CEDU schools, so it's CEDU. This all stems from a cult.
Yeah. So Paris Hilton has spoken out about it, from what I can understand. So this has all come about because of a lawsuit. She likes reporting about other people's lawsuits.
And the people that started them are former cult members that use this technique to literally brainwash you, right? So what they do, I just told you about the Paris Hilton stuff, but we're not talking about just Paris Hilton. Miss CH Moss 19, I'm also in the middle of a conversation, so I'm sorry, but Paris went to Provo Canyon School, and it all comes from the same origin.
There you go. Someone just got told off. And so now what happens in the chat is that there's a big argument that happens in the chat, and then chat gets turned off because what she's saying is important. If a person is one personality on a live and then literally moments later is a totally different personality on another live. Yes. KJ, pay attention, you all. I am talking. That's what it is. And then she goes, this is serious. And I'm going, you've got a stupid filter on. How can I take you serious? I can't take you seriously. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. That's all I think about. Oh.
So anyways, all of these schools start popping up all over the world, all over the country, right? And they realize that this all starts like getting really big in the 80s and 90s, okay? And once they get from the 80s and 90s.
Oh, look, we've got Jessica Girl and Jessica. Jessie's Girl. And she's wearing a Norwegian Oceanic, yes, flag shirt. She is, yes. One of the comments is that they like the shirt. And it's interesting because Paris Hilton, when we go back, we'll look at the comments. Paris Hilton has actually liked her video. So it's been kept up. Hello, Sunshine Lady. Double Jessicas.
all of these schools, there's like so many of them. There's over 50 of them. There's over 50 of them in like, think of it this way. There's over like 50 of them in Montana because there was no regulations at the time. I don't know if there's regulations yet in Montana, but kids are dying in these places. Kids are, they're dying in these schools. They are being forced to sleep outside. They're being forced to lay on, beds that are made of wood. They're forced to stay in 5x7 rooms. There are hundreds of these facilities.
Now, remember that it's based on one facility. There's one facility that's been sued, but now all of them are bad. And she actually makes some comparisons, which gets really bad.
It's all across the country. Now, Utah has like over, I don't even know, hundreds, maybe thousands. And so the schools, the problem with Utah is that Utah has literally no regulations. Same with Montana. And what
she just said the Montana she wasn't sure whether Montana had regulations or not, just out of her mouth. And now she's saying, I'm not sure. Do you know what? This is so much easier watching this with you guys here.
Do is they go to the specific states that lack regulations. So some states will say that if you're a private facility, they can't do anything, even if it's even it involves children, as long as it's a private entity and they don't get any federal funding or any state funding, no one can dictate what they do or say to these kids. So, anyways, the problem is because no one's regulating these places, so much abuse is happening at these places. So nobody.
Yeah, I had to watch it twice on my own. I couldn't do it the second time. Yeah. She thinks people are feeling her at the moment. She thinks they are relenting. I think she got it wrong. It says just Jeanette, yeah. So from what I can work out, there's been a lawsuit filed about one particular school where there have been, I believe that there are allegations. That there have been allegations of certain things happened. So they're being sued. Dutch Spirit says KJ still presents her story as fact without any proof or receipts. That's right. Well, that's my whole point, is that from what I can know, there's a lawsuit involving one of the school with one or two of the students. But that doesn't mean that they're all bad, and it doesn't mean that all of this stuff happens. There might be people telling their story. But unfortunately, everyone's tarnished with the same brush.
Is keeping track of the kids that are there. Nobody knows what happens to the kids once they get there. And a lot of these families, what they do is they abduct the kids at night. So this was another thing that came from that cult, where they would take people under the cover of darkness and they would abduct them because they felt like...
Yes, and that's the other thing. And it's from 10 plus years ago. And she started off by talking about stuff that happened in the 70s. So I got really confused. But you know what? I'll just stop for a moment. Because I love The Simpsons, right? I really love The Simpsons. There was an episode where Bart and Lisa go to a place called Camp Krusty. They're busting to go to Camp Krusty. They beg their parents, can we go to Camp Krusty? Can we go to Camp Krusty? And they get to Camp Krusty, and their food was taken away from them. They had to sleep on wooden boards. They had to do hard work. And what KJ's describing here is exactly what that Simpson episode was about. So I'm not so part of my mind has gone wandering to that Simpsons episode, and I don't want to take anything away from this issue. This is a really serious issue, but I just can't help it. She's quite the rumor mill. Yeah. Yes, and Krusty didn't show up until like the third day. Yes, Liz. See? And what she's describing there, she's describing them sleeping on boards and all of this sort of stuff. That happened on the Simpsons episode. So
like they had to scare them into going there, right? Scare them into like whatever. So anyways, once they were there, right, no regulation equals no inspection, no or oversight. Correct, Rebecca? So because there's no regulations, basically if an abuse happens at a lot of these schools, nothing happens from a state or federal.
All right. So there may not have been regulation then, but is there regulation now? Australia actually had a royal commission into institutions for child SA, and a lot of institutions and organisations have had to completely change their child safe policy because of the recommendations out of that. So it's very, 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 if you want to work with children now, it's very, very strict. But you have to have investigations sometimes, and you have to have people speak out to get things changed. But not like this.
Perspective. Very rarely are there prosecutions that happen at these schools if there's abuse. Here's an example. The school that Paris attended, called Provo Canyon School, in 2016 or 18, one of the staff members was running a fight club, literally a fight club. He was running a fight club where he allowed the kids to beat the shit out of each other with him also taking part in it.
I will not, KJ needs to write on the trouble and not make assumptions about troubled teen schools. It's a very delicate topic, and crossing the line is inappropriate. Yep, advocacy, great, but yes. No facts. Now she's talking about Paris Hilton's school, but I don't know that Paris Hilton has given lots of details about the school. But I may be wrong.
Got arrested. But that's just like the kids when they're going to these schools, because there's no regulations and the parents literally sign over custody of their kids to the facilities. Parents have no idea. They're marketed as places to help children.
Oh, of course, Belinda. It's only reduced it. It hasn't eliminated it. Of course, it has reduced it. But we also have mandatory reporting now and lots of other stuff. John says, watching KJ is like being back in school and watching a kid who only reads Cliff Notes deliver an in-depth report on a book. Yes, John. Hi, Belinda, and hi, John. You are correct, both of you. Apparently, there are many lawsuits in the past and many waiting. It is a minefield. I don't think I would be reporting on the hundreds of these centres. I think there will be many class actions, right? Yep. And that's where you've got to let the law do its job. The fact that it is being reported on. But she's trying to make a story out of this, in my opinion. Can you do that? Sign away custody to a school system? I don't know, Dutch Spirit. Julian says, my cousin went to such a program when he was younger and it helped. My mum even ended up becoming a counsellor because it was so impactful. Well, that's a good story. I'm sure for every bad there's a good story where it's been helped. And the other thing is that everywhere, I mean, there is bad people, and no matter how much you try and protect, it can be really hard. I've never watched The Simpsons, so I trust you enjoy with the details. I'll have to find it. I'll find that episode, Gail, and I'll show it to you. Like it was, yeah.
But they don't. There is very little therapy. The kids are heavily medicated just out of convenience. when they are not behaving, they are placed into like solitary confinement. They are put into hard labor. They are not allowed to go on. They are not allowed solitary.
Oh, Belinda, she has given details. She testified in court. Oh, okay. Cool. It's great to hear about your cousins. Yeah. Hey, look, I'm not trying to dismiss this at all. This is all about where do you cross the line with this? Where is the line crossed on this? And what is fact and what's opinion? This is my point.
Confinement. They are put into hard labor. They are not allowed to go on. They are not allowed to take showers. So, bad baby.
I think that's what she's watched, Michelle. Because she talks about watching a documentary and Paris Hilton. Well, that's right. Is the information correct? I'd say it seems that some of it is, but I don't know.
Was talking about in her instance, she had gotten in trouble and they basically made her and a group of girls be outside for 2 straight weeks, and she was not allowed to change her clothes. She developed a UTI, and because they wouldn't allow her to change her underwear. She was not fed. She was forced to eat like ramen noodles dry.
I don't know this. I stand corrected. I'll watch the document. Yeah, look, I'm happy to watch the documentary. Kat Von D stated her parents were unaware of what she went through, so to blame the parents is disgusting of her yet again. It's just not right. But as problematic as KJ is, she's not allowed to have an opinion, you guys, or having opinions. No, I haven't researched the issue, Belinda. I'm not saying that she's not allowed to have an opinion. She's whitewashing stories from 50 years ago to now, from all over America. Seems to me to be at least 50% speculation, but said as fact. Unable to see KJ jiggling anime girl style with that filter, says Liz. She's so... all right. My point is that you can't say that all schools are bad. I think Paris testified to the Senate hearing to change the rules in the last week or so. She's leading the change. This is most states have it. So there is little regulation, and that's fine. You're live. I thought you... No, I wasn't going to go on, Peter, but I did. Oh, well, now you can go back brain dead here. John, I moved that KJ speculation and defamation. We'll see, particularly, she'll get onto Dr. Phil soon, and I reckon she starts walking a grey line. I keep saying I have no problem with her alerting or bringing this to light. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with but we see that there is a history, and we can only go on behavior in the past, that there is a line that gets crossed, in my opinion. But it is a sensitive topic, and I don't even like the way that she's talking about it. It's very aggressive. I hope Dr. Phil sends a letter. Oh, there'll be and maybe Oprah and Dr. Oz. And I'd actually like to see some of the proof. Well, you're right, Jessica Gill. She's not doing it justice. It's a very sensitive topic.
at Turnabout Ranch. But this happens.
And you can't watch one documentary and then state that it's the be all and end all either.
All over the place. So that's just like one example. In another example, there was this boy in Montana, and he was sent there by his parents because the parents felt like he was out of control. He was drinking. He wasn't listening to them. And they ended up sending him to this.
And Julianne just said that her cousin had a very positive experience. So from the same camps. So, you know, my understanding is that these are examples from the documentary. And again, I could be wrong. I haven't had a chance to watch the documentary, but I want to point out, I just want to also show that this is her. And then half an hour later, she did another live, and she was a completely different person. The girl talks so damn loud that even with my earbuds, I can still hear her. I haven't watched this season. Look, I've not seen it for her. I didn't. I asked why she wasn't allowed to have an opinion. People can have opinions about current news. She can have an opinion, but I haven't heard her say that it's an opinion. What I've heard is facts, or what I perceive as facts. As somebody who doesn't know about the situation, if I'm watching this, I would have to, without doing research, I would say, well, she said it, so it must be true. So my point is that direct us to something that we can watch. Now we know we've already been Michelle's directed us to the documentary. There's also been a Senate hearing. So we can all now look at that if we want to go and investigate it further.
Hannah, that's part of this cult again. Anyways, the parents find out that while the school says that, oh, he's going to get education, he's going to be fine. Not only will he learn, but he'll also grow.
No, you're not timed out, Sarah. I don't time people out. No, she can't. Peter, sorry, Joe, can I be a pain and have a 5-point recap? Well, she's on about these wilderness schools or something today on this one. And they're problematic, and there's a lawsuit or something to do with one of them. She can most definitely have an opinion, says that Amber Chick. However, things like this need to be reported on with a level of dignity and grace that KJ seriously lacks, in my opinion. She's not prefacing things with allegedly like we do. That's right. Maybe Australia, I find it better. Oh, really? But we only had called Kidnap for Jesus, which is about one of these types of schools. It was interesting. I only watched it last night. Well, see, this is the thing. We want to. This is interesting topics. Yeah. Julianne says it's really difficult for parents who have a child that is out of control. They try everything and feel that these schools are the last resort in some instances. And as Julianne said, her cousin, it helped them. Presents herself as a journalist reporting on stories, not a hack giving opinions on partially researched disinformation is dangerous. Yep, so you can go do research now. Well, normally I put it in my channel description, and I didn't put it in my channel description, but I always say that everything expressed on this channel is opinion and not to be taken as fact. I always encourage everybody to go do your own research and draw your own conclusions. But a lot of people don't have Instagram, so I'm showing it for everybody, and there are people that know the topic better than I.
Montana pops up all of these schools all over the state because the logging industry tanks, and so they need new industry. These industries are employing tons of people, and all the industries are working together, and the police are refusing to actually the police are refusing to prosecute things.
Unless Rick's here. If Rick was here, he'd say everything is presented as opinion, not fact. Unless it's him, everything he says is factual. But he's not here. Thank you, Ninja Girl. It's good to see you, Ninja Girl. Just like I said, Belinda, I have problems taking her seriously on a very serious topic with that filter, with that flower in her hair. I know Rick always has his added comments. Yeah.
That's off because this is pretty serious and I don't want to be distracted by anything right now. So the police refuse.
So there she's just turned off the comments.
Serious and I don't want to be distracted by anything right now. So the police refuse to basically.
So that she just turned off the comments.
Prosecute a lot of the crimes that happen at these schools. Some of the kids, one for instance, this boy, this went to federal court, and it was actually like a federal case, but he was kept in a 5x7 room for days at a time. There was no water in the room. He had to sleep there. He had nobody checking in on him. There was like no place to go to the bathroom. He was not fed right. He came home, he had an accident while he was there, and they called him, and they called the dad, and they said, oh, there's an accident, no big deal.
Actually, Liz, she did put a disclaimer. It's right down the bottom of her her section, but she only did that after she got sued by Tardy Westbrook. We have this issue in Australia. We have some boot camps people do not agree with, and others people do. You cannot lump all together as good comes with bad. That's what I'm saying. Hi from Edinburgh. Hello, Carol. Hello, Ballistic. I have to say, in my opinion, yeah, everything's in my. All right, I'll start every sentence with "in my opinion." It's a shame. It's a shame my lawyers aren't here. I usually have 2 lawyers in the chat. That so anyway,
no big deal. After so many months of not getting any reports on their child's education because they had literally kept him in solitary confinement, they go and get their son. They find out that he had physical injuries from the accident, but they claimed it was fine.
So this is from her Instagram live. She's talking. Yeah, that's my team. She's talking about these wilderness camps that you send troubled youth to. That's what she's talking about. Have I missed her say, in my opinion, or allegedly? No, her disclaimer in the description doesn't count when she's reporting on things she has no clue about that. Well, that's why I wanted to know my lawyers. Hear my lawyers. Make it clear. Oh, it is. I'm trying to move closer. Cool. Thank you, Ninja Girl. And that's my concern is. Don't worry about it, Joe. You aren't the one currently being sued. Well, that's true. Well, actually, if you watched her YouTube live, she kept talking about past tense, about her stress and her issues and I have the distinct impression she thinks it's over. That was the impression that I got. But it's only the beginning.
Because he had been so severely neglected from that injury, he had to have reconstructive surgery on his mouth because one of his teeth was so abscessed and broken and like from not being treated. And they ended up suing the school.
Actually, there's one in Melbourne because I actually was seeing a psychologist actually at the time, and I was having some issues, and he actually recommended one for one of my children, and I never ended up doing it because it was on the other side of the city and I couldn't get him there. But there's one in Melbourne that is absolutely sworn by. You know, people swear to it, and it's run military style. But you know, it's got a very good reputation, and you know, troubled youths are being transformed. But I don't know.
These kinds of lawsuits
Hi, Tia.
are happening every single day across the country. Dr. Phil has been involved in multiple lawsuits involving these kinds of schools. He was actually sued along with another place back in 2014 because another girl said that she was abused at one of these places that Phil sent her to.
This makes me mad because her YouTube live also made her seem like she wasn't doing stuff like this anymore. She's an absolute fake, in my opinion. And if people still buy it, I feel sorry for them, honestly. Yeah. In the US, most of these boot camps are very bad places. Okay. It's a bit like that, isn't it? You can see why I couldn't do it after the second time. Yeah.
One of Phil's sponsors for his show are these facilities. So if you have sponsors that are for facilities that you're promoting, you're going to be incentivized to send children to these camps knowing that there are abuses happening. You have been part of lawsuits related to these places, and you know that there's been reported deaths happening. In fact, he even had an episode, you guys, where he talked about the dangerousness of these wilderness programs and how children have died in the wilderness programs as well.
So Peter says, half of my job is bringing youth into my work program and hoping to give them a new start. What are you doing to help the situation, KJ? Defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Yeah. Honestly, it can be a really good place for teens. Not all the same. West Point is one of the most prestigious schools online. Is it? Okay. How can any rehabilitation take place in the NT, a territory where Aboriginal girls are legally forced to have contraception? Oh. Not too early start drinking, John. Some excellent teen youth programs here, the ones in the outback. I have some excellent results. Says, she's whining about it on Insta. I have some special. The Amber Chick says, I was a very troubled teen. I went to a camp here in Alabama, but it wasn't like those in Utah. Utah has laws that allow them to basically abuse kids, and it's wrong. Yes, please, Belinda. Please be respectful. See, I did show you a comment because I will show the comments, but, it's not very helpful.
So Dr. Phil doesn't seem to care about the safety of the children that go on his show, in my opinion, because he continually sends the kids there knowing the dangers of how unregulated they are.
So there you go. She's finally said, in my opinion. Mm. If I am behaving, anyone can fax because I'm not very good at it. I'd like to say I was straightened out, but I wasn't. However, I was not abused, and it did help me calm down a lot. So there you go, that Amber chick. Also went to one. So we've had 2 positive experiences. I think the problem with actually researching many of these schools that are rogue would be that information would be hidden. Therefore, the positive or negative impact on lives can't be formed. Correct. Oops. Yep. Spreading propaganda. Yes, that's true. Hello, rescue lady. And only 15 minutes into the video. That's very good for KJ, says John. Thank you. Yes, thank you for sharing that, Amber Chick. It just helps to put things in perspective. Abuse in any sense is absolutely wrong, especially when it's being done by strangers. Correct.
No regulations. They're private. They're very expensive. And they're abusing kids. So he's taking children that are already experiencing severe trauma and exploiting them by putting them on a show, making a spectacle out of them, embarrassing them, making an example out of them, and then sending them to a place where they probably just needed some psychiatric help. They probably just needed a good counselor. Instead, he decides to make them go to a work camp.
There you go. They needed psychiatric help or a counselor.
And they leave more traumatized. So the girl is suing the school, Turnabout Ranch in Utah, right? She alleges, her name is Hannah, that she was sexually abused at this ranch after Dr. Phil sent her there. She says within weeks of arriving there, she was sexually assaulted by a staff member.
So this is one person's experience. That she's talking about. Because there is a lawsuit.
Right up behind her and groping her on her, I think, on her bottom. And then the next.
So this is going to get very graphic, so I apologize.
Time, because she froze and didn't say anything, he got more handsy and he sexually assaulted her by touching her vaginal area. And when she reported the sexual abuse to superiors, they told her to write it down, according to the press conference. She wrote it down, and they didn't report it to police. They didn't fire the staff member, and they didn't warn other children about this guy.
Yeah. So, and yeah. That's right, Gail. There should have been a trigger warning. She should have warned people. I was 5 handfuls of a team for other reasons than just being a jerk. It wasn't mental illness. I was just bad.
Instead, they retaliated against her, according to the lawsuit, by making her pick up horse manure, making her, again, like Bad Baby was talking about, sleep outside on a wooden board, forcing her to walk in circles around a horse corral type thing, repeatedly forcing her to sit in a wall and stare at a wall. So I was watching this documentary.
So I care. That's why I warned you all, and I said it at the start again. So yes, so she's got all of this from the documentary. So she was watching the documentary
today, because some of the techniques that this cult uses and these facilities use are the same techniques that are used by like Al Qaeda when they have a prisoner. So they force kids to just stare at.
Okay, this is where I went. No, this is where I went. No way. She's comparing these camps to Al Qaeda and prisoners of war. How does she know? How do you know? How does she know? What goes on with Al Qaeda? Have a listen. This is where I just went, nah. This is like, she's talking, hello, Renee. She's talking about the wilderness camps. What's she talking about? Who's she talking about? I worked in as a never mate. Yeah. She is. She's an expert in Al Qaeda tactics. I'm not picking up horse poop. I mean, I hate doing work as much as the next person, but my Lord, to call it abuse is absurd. It takes away from the actual abuse victims. Yes. Al Qaeda is the name of, yes. And true. Yeah. Yeah. This is, yeah. To be fair, there have been graveyards found at schools of children's bodies. So, yeah, in the US, we have some really, really bad stuff in camps. I'm glad it's not bad elsewhere. And, yeah. Tia says she doesn't know what happens over there. My husband did 6 tours, 3 in Iraq and 3 in Afghanistan. Well, thank you to your husband, Tia. Walking around a horse corolla repeatedly makes it sound like just getting the kids to do exercise. I mean, maybe the horses needed to be walked. I don't know.
They force kids to just stare at walls, and they make them just change their position, and they're forced to do this for 8 to 14 hours a day if they're not good. That's the same kind of shit that's done to prisoners of war in the Middle East. Like, it's torture. It's torture. And parents are sending their kids there, and these places are...
So, as I said, this was the part where I'm going, this can't be right. It's, interesting, Belinda. That is true. Talking about all schools like they are, those camps takes away from the actual problem. I think so. I agree in that, Amber Chick. Yes, thank your husband for his service. In my opinion, says John, KJ will never stop spreading lies as facts. So YouTube need to step in. Well, this is Insta. This is Insta. It's so sad, especially, yeah. Right. Yeah, I think I remember something about that, and she knows this how. Well, that was my point. To compare the two, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. She's not done yet.
Profiting off of it. And then you have people like Dr. Phil legitimizing them by making them front and center of a show. And it's like, how have we gotten... And people have been screaming about this industry for decades. And lawmakers are still not doing anything. Finally, might I add, the state of Missouri, so Amanda Householder, who was dealing with her parents' place, which was called Circle of Hope, she testified in Missouri, and they are working on a bill for regulating these types of schools and making it so they cannot go unnoticed, and so that the kids cannot be abused. The same thing Paris Hilton is trying to do in Utah. So
now she's saying that Paris Hilton is trying to in Utah, but she brings in everybody else. Is she ever? I don't know. Um,
it is so important to have these kinds of conversations because people like Dr. Phil legitimizing these places, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. It's horrifying to know there is a guy in Hollywood that is claiming to be a therapist, right? And then willingly taking kids that are in traumatic situations and making them leave with more trauma.
Yeah, you okay, Sarah?
Listening to the stories, Amanda Householder's episode on Dateline was 2 weeks ago. I couldn't find it online. But anyways, Amanda follows my page and I've interviewed her twice. So anyways, I just spoke to Breaking Code Silence. That's the hashtag, the group that's been working with Paris Hilton.
So Breaking Code Silence. As I said, I always think it's Breaking My Silence from Teddy Westbrook. So I think she's watched that documentary. I think she's watched and she's been following Paris Hilton. So this is, in my opinion, where she's got all her. Hello, Jane. This is, in my opinion, where she got all her information from.
And I asked if I could have an interview with them because I want somebody who has some advocacy, understanding to like share some information with my audience because I feel like not only do we need to talk about it.
Does she realize that her video won't get monetized? They probably won't let her monetize it. She won't make any money from it. Does she realize that or not?
But we also need people to actually start speaking up. More and more people are starting to share their stories. More and more people who went through these schools are starting to speak out. Every single year, according to Breaking Code Silence, 50,000 kids in the United States are going through a program like this. Every single year, there are thousands of children that are being abused, tortured, sexually assaulted, deprived of the basic things in life like food and clothes.
Midnight says, I think she might be talking about because of Bad Barbie exposing the ranch, Dr. Phil Institute. Yes, that's what she's doing it. But the issue that I have with it, Midnight, is that she's talking about them all being bad. Jane, hello. Yes, hello, Jane. Sassy Elmo. Now, my question is, and I'm not saying stuff like this doesn't or still isn't happening to places, but would Dr. Phil be on if this was as big as she was making it out to be? That's a good question, Sassy Elmo, because I don't know that he would be. KJ did mention it, but the Ninja Girl says possibly yes. So, yeah, I really don't know. Let's see. After she went to Dr. Phil's. All right. I think she's the wrong person. The advocate needs to live this or work with these people, or you never have a real understanding. This is deeper than food and clothing. Or maybe Dr. Phil doesn't know what went on there. Well, KJ did say he was part of a lawsuit and he'd been sued multiple times. Dr. Phil will do what makes money. The camps make money. But is it him or is it the network? I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Is it him or is it the network? I mean, I personally don't like Dr. Phil. But that's got nothing to do. I just don't like him. But you know. His corporation, yeah. So, I mean, he may not be making the decisions per se, is what I'm saying. I'm just, as I said, I'm just putting it out there.
Clothing and a shower. There was a facility that didn't even have toilet paper and was making kids just go out into a porta potty. I'm gonna remove you from this, Jennifer.
So Jennifer was stating that maybe some kids needed that because of their behavior, that they were troubled teens. But when she said about a porta potty, but if you go out into the bush in Australia, you're not going to find a porta potty. You're going to have to dig a hole. You have to dig a hole. You know, so if you go out in the bush, there'll be no toilets there. It's not Dr. Phil. He has no idea what happens there. I'm sure he's freaked out. He has too many companies. I can't take her seriously with the pineapple leaf above her head and emoji flower. Thank you, Peter, because I can't take her seriously either. And this is the whole problem. We're trying to help the children because the parents reached out for him to help.
Anyone that says that these facilities need to do something like tough to get kids in check doesn't understand trauma, psychological issues, mental health issues. A child that has been sexually assaulted or sexually abused by family members doesn't need to straighten out. They need psychological help. A child that's going through the trauma of their parents divorcing, or maybe some physical violence or domestic violence in their home, or poverty, they do not need someone to send them to a work camp to get abused and tortured and put into a locked room.
Oh, dear. You're not wearing your pineapple leaf tonight? No, I'm not wearing my pineapple. No one's wearing. Well, as I said, I don't know. I honestly can't play her into that. She had to pull weeds bare hands as a punishment. We had to pull weeds bare hands as punishment. If she was serious, this would be on her main channel. You want to win this, you put it to your biggest. If you're true, but she wouldn't make money if it was on her bigger channel. Hey, hi, Beth. I forgot mine. I did too. Associate almost says, since he's no longer licensed, so these licensed on his staff would be the ones certified to send bad kids to these camps. It's a good chance, doesn't it? I guess we'll find out. It's hard to believe. But then again, as Australian, I'm not fully informed. That's right. I think just because she travelled outside the US, so many people don't have the basics she's yapping about. Hello, Wind Whispers.
To a locked room, right? What they need is psychological care. They need psychologists. They need psychiatrists. They need therapy. They do not need to work, right? They do not need to work. Everybody needs to know how to work, in my opinion. Everybody needs to know how to work. In my honest opinion. Right? You do not beat back. No, have a look. Her ring is her wedding and engagement ring are on her right hand, and the other rings on her left hand. Hey, does anyone know about her doing an article for the magazine? No, I don't know anything about that. Working chores teaches responsibility. Yes. Yes, John, it does. I'm working, so I can't follow chat, but listening. Cool. Thank you, Dutch Spirit. Thanks for that. Hey, maybe she should request with Dr. Phil to get his side of the story.
Hey, Ninja Girl. Peter says she's behind the times, work first, and therapy works with structure. Well, isn't that why they say autistic kids need to have a structure in place, because they work better with structure? Learning to work is a good way to learn how to focus and learn a skill. Nothing wrong with that. On YouTube, this scared straight type of show pops up on my newsfeed, and the kids go juvenile hall overnight. That's because where they're heading in life, and boy, it works 99% of the time. Interesting.
Bad things out of kids. It's no different than how you think of it this way. You and I, as parents, if you're a parent, we would never advocate for beating our children, right? When my son misbehaves, I have never laid a hand on him. My son has autism. Do you know how many children are at these centers that are mentally tortured and abused? I literally talked to someone from Breaking Code Silence today who's a survivor of a religious place, a religious school that was like this. And she said the kids with autism there, they would shave their heads when they were bad. They would just torture these kids when they were bad because they couldn't behave. You don't beat children and make them do more push-ups or laps to get them in line.
Oh, that would be right, Natalie. See, I have dense moments as well. I couldn't. It was just bothering me so much. Peter says yesterday, builds routine. It gives safe structure because these kids know what to expect, and then you introduce therapy. Yeah, and that's why autistic kids, or the ones that I know, if you change their routine, they're going to push. There's problems. When I at the school that I work at, they do a day where the kids meet their new teachers. They actually did a book for all of the students with autism that had a picture of their teacher, what their new routine would be like, and they gave them a book so that they knew that everything was going to be all right. I can only talk about what I see and know, but I'm not an expert. I just, I'm just, we're learning from KJ. Never, yes. Random. I live behind a special school. I've never seen any abuse. The teachers are amazing. The teachers outside paying the best they can. Well, I live opposite an assisted living facility with people with mental illness, and there's always some type of screaming going on, but it's not because of abuse. It's their reaction.
They're experiencing is worse than what prisoners in our prison system experience.
There you go. It's worse than prison. As a former teacher, it's important to have structure for the children I worked with that had autism. Yeah. Yeah, it's worse than prison. So it's worse than Al Qaeda, and it's worse than prison.
And it's just not okay. And the fact that people have been trying to get these schools regulated or shut down for decades and still nothing happens, it is so disturbing. It is so disturbing that there's an industry that is in the United States that exists where children can be abused and nobody is watching them. Right? And nobody is taking care of them. And the disturbing part that they find is that, do you know who these places are? Do you know who these schools are giving money to?
Oh, here you go. This is the best. This is the best at all. Like Scientology. One of the comments was it sounded like a Scientology facility. And somebody's just going to ask her not to speak politically. Watch. Wait. What about you? All right, you're gonna love this. Actually, I've been watching the Crime Network about like the world's toughest prisons and the toughest prisons in America, and I've watched some of the youth ones, and they're pretty bad. Like they're tough, and they're tougher than what she's describing here. I would bet more children suffering at the hands of trusted family than institutions. Well, in all my child safe training, it is stated that that's where the majority of abuse comes from, is from family members. She did another one on YouTube, Christoph Van Always. After this one, we're going to go and have another. We're going to look at that because it's completely different. Oh, that was you, Julianne. Ah, I get the popcorn ready. Get ready. You ready? 80%, is it? 80% of children in Australia are abused by family members. Yeah. And as I stated earlier, when we did the Royal Commission into child abuse in institutions, I did see another channel do a clip of her literally said, okay. Oh, yeah. That, with the institutions have really got put in procedures in place to try and stop. And we're taught in all of the training that we do, we're taught that it's like most likely to be family members. So, for example, we can't be left alone with the child. And you always have to have a male and a female leader when you're dealing with children. So, there's been some big things put into place for institutions to follow as far as child safety. 80% family or known friends. Yeah, I think, that sounds about right. So.
Do you know what super PACs and what lawmakers they're giving money to? They're not giving money to Democrats. They are like, a lot of money was donated to George.
Did you hear that? Money wasn't donated to Democrats.
Who these places are? Do you know who these schools are giving money to? Do you know what super PACs and what lawmakers they're giving money to? They're not giving money to Democrats. They are like, a lot of money was donated to George Bush during the 90s. They consistently donate to Republicans because they know that Republicans don't like government. And it's the Republican lawmakers that continue to allow these schools to profit off of abuse with no regulations. And
I shouldn't be laughing, but like, is she saying that everything that has changed now because of a new president? Is that what she's saying? She was saying that Charlotte shouldn't have got dots, but we'll watch it, John, so you can watch it. It was nothing bad. It's just for somebody that doesn't watch videos. She seems to know a lot about what's happening. She is the wrong person to be speaking for these kids, says Tia. She's been reading too much. Yeah, I'll be playing the ear. Neither side of the government does enough. She's dreaming. It was weird, wasn't it? Actually, I actually had it on. I was recording it, and I was in class at the time, and I heard Charlotte's name, and I had to stop. She had no proof of her statements. No, she doesn't have any proof of her statements. Yes, they know Republicans don't like government. That's what she said. That's what she said. I'll just take it back a bit.
Republicans don't like government, and it's the Republican lawmakers that continue to allow these schools to profit off of abuse.
There you go. You've heard it. It's the Republican lawmakers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry, Gail. It's not pleasant. But she never did it. She never did a trigger warning.
No regulations. And the fact that all of this started by a cult should concern everyone. We're literally allowing the former members of a cult that was disbanded because of their violent attempts to kill people and control them through physical assault and through emotional abuse, is now these former members are trying to take care and reform our children. I will put, this is the facts about this case. That's not political. It is the facts when you look at it. Go to Breaking Code Silence, watch any documentary on this. It has nothing to do with my political beliefs. It has to do with these schools are donating to Republicans because Republicans do not want more government. That's just what the Republican Party stands for. They like smaller government.
Well, that's right. Is that fact or is that opinion? She's stating it as fact. No, she's nearly that's the last upset at her subs. Jane says, was KJ in the cult? Because from what I've seen with her and her subs, she's very good at controlling people. I think she was. A documentary would never have guessed. I know. This woman is not without a crystal ball. She's without a comprehensive brain cell. This is political and has nothing to do with advocacy. Correct. In my opinion. Amazing. She used some 17th century history mixed in with new info and came up with this BS. Okay. Firefly, I believe it's called Breaking Code Silence. And it's to do with Paris Hilton. That's what my understanding is. I think she was in some church cult at a time, I think. Didn't miss me. I forgot to say hi to group. Watch the other. You watched the other one? Yeah. Yeah, well, I've actually watched them both twice. So that's why I didn't think that I was going to make it on live today. I just had to get away. Cults are her passion, she says. Yep. All right. Well, wait till she starts. She hasn't finished with Dr. Phil yet.
They like smaller government. That has nothing to do with my politics. It's just the facts of who they're donating money to.
There you go. She said it's facts. It's facts. Can the Republican Party sue her for defamation? Oh.
And the parents are being exploited, and they have no idea. These facilities promise that they're going to fix their kids. They promise it's going to help these children, and the parents end up feeling like they have their own trauma from it when their kids come home, because they realize that they literally sent their child to a place and traumatized them more, right? So imagine you're the parent and you are promised that your child will get help there, but you realize afterwards that your child was tormented, their freedom, their liberties were stripped from them, their basic rights of like food, showers, and eating and heat and all of that are taken away from them, and you realize that you're the person that put.
So now it's the parents' fault. Now she's parent shaming. She's parent shaming now.
Your child in that situation. Imagine the magnitude of guilt that these parents feel because they are lied to by these facilities. So it's easy to get mad at the parents and be like, well, you should have known better. But these facilities are manipulating and withholding information from parents and then not allowing parents to speak to their kids. And then when the kids actually can speak to their parents, the kids are not allowed to tell them what they're experiencing when they're there. So they cannot actually be honest with them about what happens at these schools, right? Or else they'll get in trouble.
That's what happens in all abuse. Isn't that what happens with all abusive situations, though? You're not allowed to talk? Oh, dear.
Manure.
Great. It won't play now. It's stuck. I did pause a little bit.
So it's easy to get mad at the parents and be like, well, you should have known better. But these facilities are manipulating and withholding information from parents and then not allowing parents to speak to their kids. And then when the kids actually can speak to their parents, the kids are not allowed to tell them what they're experiencing when they're there. So they cannot actually be honest with them about what happens at these schools, right? Or else they'll get in trouble. And so they have to lie, or else they'll have time in isolation, picking up more horse manure. They'll get beat up by a staff member. And because they're unregulated, and because they don't have to have licensed people on staff, they don't have workers that are like trained. So you have people that are working at these facilities that have no business working with children that are that are having serious traumatic issues in their lives that need counseling. That might be, another group of people that are sent to these schools, kids that are gay.
Wow, we got 121 watching. Hello, everybody. Not horse manure yet. And some kids don't talk to their parents because they don't like talking to their parents. So
the LGBTQ plus children, they're sent there just for being gay by their religious parents. You're going to work out. And these facilities take the kids knowing they're gay and promise they're going to reform them. It's beyond disturbing. No, these schools are not all in Utah. They're all over the country. Utah, Montana, they're everywhere. There's thousands of these schools across the United States. Some states are better regulated than others. The problem with Utah is there's literally no regulations at all. And yes, Paris Hilton is working with through all of this. But it's horrible. So California, Montana, Utah, there's a lot of these out west because there's less, but they're all over the country. They're in Missouri. Missouri doesn't have very good regulations. Indiana doesn't have a lot of regulations. Ohio doesn't have a lot of regulations. So Amanda's householder's father ran a school where rampant sexual abuse was happening.
she reads a few headlines without even reading the story and thinks she knows. She does this with every subject she covers, says Ninja Girl, yeah. Or she watches a documentary. That's a totally different program that the church sends them to. The amateur says in her defense, sort of, she's right. Utah has no regulation and those schools shouldn't reflect on what others elsewhere. True. I thought she only cared about Washington, says Dawn B. You're not around your son, and if you feel his head, yes.
Never got in trouble because there was no regulations. And they didn't finally shut him down until Amanda went viral on TikTok and literally everyone started looking into it and the police could not ignore it anymore. So there's power in social media movements like what Paris is doing with Breaking Code Silence. there's power in Bad Baby, Danielle, speaking out and sharing her experience, because the louder you are and the more open you are about it, lawmakers can't ignore it anymore. They cannot ignore it when children are literally adults now are sharing their trauma and the abuse they experienced. And the thing is that for years, this industry has proliferated and expanded because who's going to believe a teenager who's troubled?
Well, that would be interesting, Jane, wouldn't it? I'm waiting for her to tie that allegedly JC runs these schools. She doesn't actually. Doesn't get mentioned in this one.
Who's going to believe the delinquent teenager? Why would you believe them? They're liars. They don't do anything right? So if they do speak out, no one believes them. And these places brainwash them and teach them to lie. So this is, I've spoken about these places a lot.
So she's spoken about them a lot. It's trouble. As I was in my teens, my parents still heard me. They also knew how to see straight through, have magic powers, I suppose. Yeah. Dr. Phil comes up later. Yes, there's 8 minutes to go. She's trying to make commentary off Paris Hilton with her own narrative with no truth or facts, says Sunny. Like a 9-year-old abuse victim, KJ. Yes. Funny, isn't it? It's not funny, but how she's on this rant at the moment, but she forgets that.
Because they're huge in the IFB, which is the Independent Fundamentalist Baptists. There's tons of these schools.
So now she's linked them to the Duggars. So now she's justifying why she's mentioned it. And so she's saying she does lots of content.
They're run by IFB leaders. And I cover the IFB. That's one of the reasons why I cover the Duggars, because it's a cult and it's an abusive patriarch.
Sorry, John.
That uses these facilities to abuse children under the guise of religion. And the kids are getting no help at all.
This is my 3rd time sitting through it, John. But this is the easiest time. This is the easiest one because everyone else is here.
Dr. Phil doesn't have a license, and he hasn't had a license since 2006. So check this out. Dr. Phil actually got in trouble in the late 1980s because he was deemed to have had a sexually inappropriate relationship with one of his former patients.
Look at the face. Look at the smirk. The smirk on her face. She's talking about Dr. Phil here. The smirk.
Now, there was some allegations of sexual, like whether there was some allegations on whether or not it was consensual or not. But after an evaluation and a review by the board in his state, they basically said, well, it's been determined that you took advantage of someone. She was 19 years old. You had an authority position over her, and she became like, you crossed a huge ethical line.
Oh no, she'll tell you that she turned him down, Wind Whispers. She'll tell you that here.
So they put him on probation, supervised probation. This happened in the end of the 80s. And he would have had to, if he continued working in psychology, he would have had to have someone there with him, sort of as like his person to make sure that he's not crossing those boundaries. So what he did was he stopped his private practice after that happened, and he went into legal consulting. So he started working as a consultant that helped people from a psychological perspective for cases, and he was like their legal psychologist, legal expert.
So she's now having to go at him because he left private practice and went into consulting. Oh dear, and he still calls himself a doctor. Well, as far as I know, those degrees don't stop. Like if you're a medical doctor, just because you retire doesn't stop you being a medical doctor. Well, you can't practice. You're still a doctor. I swear she watched the video and took notes, as Christopher always.
So he did that in the 1990s, and he actually met Oprah during that time when she was dealing with a lawsuit, and he came in and helped her, and he was deemed a life coach then, not a psychologist, a life coach. So then Oprah brings him onto the show because she's so happy with the legal consulting that he's doing on her legal case, and he gets his own show in 2002. And by 2005, he's promoting weight loss products that ends up with a $10.5 million loss.
Seriously, it's like, it's like she's really jealous of him, actually. Is this from Wikipedia? Yeah, well, last time she looked up his stuff, she read Wikipedia. Oh, dear. She can't understand. She doesn't understand how somebody can be cannot, because she goes on about Dr. Oz being a cardiologist and him giving medical advice. Does she not realize that to be a specialist, you actually have to be a general practitioner first to get, so you just don't go to medical school and say, oh, I'm going to be a cardiologist today. I'm going to be a cardiologist today. No, they've got to do their medical degree first. Then they've got to intern in a hospital. Then they have to see general patients. And then they have to do their specialists. Speciality. So she gets onto Dr. Oz because apparently he's not a real, he can't give any advice because he's not a real doctor. He's only a cardiologist. So
then Oprah brings him onto the show because she's so happy with the legal consulting that he's doing on her legal case. And he gets his own show in 2002. And by 2005, he's promoting weight loss products that ends up with a $10.5 million lawsuit, which was settled, or $10.5 million settlement that he and his company had to pay out because of this class action suit for these weight loss products.
Dr. Osgale is a cardiologist. Apparently that doesn't make him a doctor. And she's talking about Dr. Phil having to pay a $10.5 million settlement. He could pay it. Oh, sorry. Did I miss something? I'm sorry, but I missed somebody. Oh, I'm sorry, butterfly kisses. Well, I know that Oprah is not a doctor. Peter says, what the hell, if she can call herself a journalist, why can't Dr. Phil be a doctor? One has more credentials than the other. True. She has no... right, Joe. KJ never did any internships yet. I think she's covered under the journalism rights. Yes.
$10.5 million lawsuit, which was settled, or $10.5 million settlement that he and his company had to pay out because of this class action suit for these weight loss products. He has been sued multiple times over, and a lot of the cases end up settling. So you see the lawsuit pop up and then they disappear because they settle out of court.
KJ, that's how you make your lawsuits go away. You settle them, you don't ignore them, or you don't keep talking about them. Good point, Sassy Elmo. Does that make her any less to have RN follow her name? No, it doesn't. Hey, JJ. Oh, so she doesn't even watch the show. I'm not engaging in her, but she doesn't. Yeah. So have you, KJ, multiple times. It looks like she's just trying to get bigger and bigger people to sue it. Could you imagine if Oprah and Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil happened to do a fair defamation? Oh dear. You always have such, Julianne, I'm working on my dissertation when I graduate. Does that mean I'm not a doctor? I'm not a doctor. So anyway, but could you imagine it?
So he actually gave up his license in 2006. He says that he gave up his license because he just wasn't using it anymore and he didn't need it anymore. Why would you give your license up? You know what I mean?
Because he was doing more TV work and more consulting work than practice, and it costs money to keep your license fees going, and it was better use putting it in what he was doing. It's not rocket science. Peter.
That's never sat right with me.
It's never sat right with her that he doesn't that he didn't keep paying his license fees. It's never sat right with me. Really? Oh boy. Even if Dr. Phil changed and did a law degree and became a lawyer, he'd still be a doctor. He didn't want to be on call anymore. That's right. Oh dear. See, and this is where it's just a joke now.
You're going to be on a show and you're going to be Dr. Phil. Wouldn't it benefit you to actually still have your license? Well, he decided that he was going to have the show, but the way that he got in trouble with the California board, right? Because they were like, well, you can't actually provide medical advice on TV. That's kind of like a breach of ethics.
She's serious though.
So then he decides that he's not actually giving advice. It's entertainment. It's education. So he doesn't have his license anymore, so he can keep doing his show. Because if he would have continued with the license, I think he would have gotten in trouble because he can't do that.
Okay, so Samo says, I was about to get my real estate license in 2000. I was offered the job at a real estate title company and would have had to put it in escrow. Yeah. Oh dear. That's funny, Ninja Girl. The Amber Chick says she's no one to talk about breaching ethics. But why is it so hard to understand why? So you know what? I did lots of training to be a personal trainer. I haven't paid the license fees because I don't work in that field anymore. I have gone into the music field. That doesn't mean that I have not lost any of those skills. Kind of like KJ, it's not news or facts, it's all entertainment. Just because you don't just, yeah.
So now, for all of these years, he has been playing a psychologist on TV, but he's not licensed, and he hasn't even practiced since the 1980s. Think about that. I had Dr. Phil, his staff, reach out to me when I was going through one of the lowest periods of my life, when I was really, really struggling, when I was very stressed out. And I had them reach out and they wanted to help me. And all I could think of was, You see what's happening to me and you want to make me a spectacle.
So she's saying that Dr. Phil's was wanting to use her for clout. Who made 2 videos on it? A spectacle of her. No, KJ, no one can make a spectacle of you. You make one of yourself. For example, the filter on your head. Oh. Make a spectacle out of me.
You're going to exploit me for views. You are going to take my trauma and make it your entertainment.
What, like you do to your son, and like you do to Duggars, and like you do to sister wives and everybody else. Yep.
The show. So I declined their offers. Yes, he has not worked as a psychologist since 1988 or 89. He did legal advising after that, but he has not worked in a private practice since the late 80s. But now he's on TV acting like he's a psychologist when you're not.
He's a psychologist. He did all the training to be a psychologist. All right, he's a retired psychologist. Okay, a retired psychologist. Is she going to sue Dr. Phil for not being a doctor? Oh, she's so interesting, that doctor. Yeah. He plays the psychologist. He's not a real psychologist. That's what she just said. Jealous of anyone who has success, yes. Oh, dear.
An active licensed psychologist, you don't have to keep up on continued education. You don't have to learn the best practices in the industry anymore. You don't have to know any sort of therapeutic guidelines or anything, any changes.
I'm mad because I almost felt bad for her and agreed with her after her YouTube video. This takes the cake, though. It does, really does. That Amber chick, this was done half an hour before the YouTube video. So she went from this to the other. Seriously. Completely different person. KJ acting like she's some sort of authority on YouTube. So, oh dear. She had this same confusion about Dr. Drew. She just can't comprehend it's possible. And she wonders why people don't like her, says the Amber chick. Marsha. Sorry for all those in traffic. You never get over it yet. Yes. Apart, her sources, what amazes me is more that she actually commentates on people's hairs and makeup videos. She said. She's bragging that he said he would help her. She has problems. I see you almost survived the 30-minute live. Great job, everyone. Doing it together makes it bearable. That makes this community great. I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye. Yes, Dutch Spirit. We've still got the other one to go. Oh, gee whiz. Hey? Your PD hours in journalism, have you kept up? Yes. Who's Dr. Crossman? You need It's hilarious the way she says Dr. Phil reached out to her like she was personally. The Amber chick says, I'll never understand her, Joe. Never. I saw this after and I literally kicking myself because I will listen to people and hear them out, which I was until I saw this. Sassy says, I haven't liked her content for a while now, but around the Amber video time to now, my one hand literally twitches when she talks. I swear she makes me want to hit stuff. Why does she think she's qualified to talk about this stuff? Her grand loss. This is a shame. Yes, I don't trust KJ live video at all. She's done. I told you to. Wrapped in that I'm a better person. Yes, she has done that. And you know what? It was around the last time there was a court filing due, if you remember rightly, and then she self-destructed. we've got a pattern. In my opinion, she needs better meds, says Tia. Plus the show and emailed her because Suzanne reached out to the show and emailed them about bad behaviour. Interesting. All right, let's have a look. We're nearly there.
It's already been proven not to work. There's like research that shows it doesn't work. They're not methods that are actually used anymore. You don't have to know any sort of therapeutic guidelines or anything, any changes. Like the techniques that he is teaching kids, this tough love stuff, it's already been proven not to work. There's like research that shows it doesn't work.
Look at the smile. Look at the smirk. Where is that research, KJ? What journal article are you quoting from? Look at the smirk.
They're not methods that are actually helpful. Yeah, Oprah is for sure what got him going. We can blame Oprah for him and Dr. Oz. It's sad. So anyways, that's my rant. And it's just so important, you guys, to speak out, share your story, not be silent. And parents, do not send your kids to these places. Don't. If your children, no, Dr. Oz is a charlatan. I can't imagine a cardiologist. You guys, a cardiologist giving out like advice, psychological advice. Would you go to a cardiologist if you were having a problem with your mental health? No.
If he was the only doctor around, yes, I would.
And he promotes like all this woo medicine, which is, how does a cardiologist promote all of these like woo medicines that don't work? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, let's say he's a cardiologist. He knows whether it's good for your heart or not.
He also didn't think COVID was that big of a deal when it all started. It's crazy.
Neither did she, did she? If I remember rightly, she said it was just the cold. I'm sure she said it was just a cold at the start. A lot of people thought and hoped it would just go away. Wonder what she thinks about general practitioners. I know general practitioners do everything. And Dr. Oz, being a cardiologist, would have had to have spent some time as a general practitioner or as a ward doctor treating everybody. Oh, shock horror.
But my son's cardiologist would never go on a show, I'll tell you this much, and pretend like he knew a shit about mental health, because he doesn't. Anyways, I gotta go. That's my rant. Keep like, if you want to find, I have a video on my channel where I interviewed Amanda Householder and just like get to know the dangers of these facilities. All right, bye guys.
So there you go. That was Instagram.
Is this working?
Yeah, is this working? So Paris Hilton, she'll be very happy here. My rant is better. Paris Hilton, breaking code silence. Paris Hilton liked it. Hey, Dr. Drew went back to the emergency wards. Hello, your rant is better, Dr. Cross? Yeah. Apparently her son's specialist doesn't know about much. Well, that's what I heard. She did say that. Because one of the things she said was I want to show you something. It was very, very interesting. So while she was doing all of that, I want to show you something else. Watch this.
You can start making a video of them? Yeah. I'm going to go in there.
I think Ronan was. I think Ronan.
That scared me.
Well, I'm sorry. I think Ronan was. I think Ronan.
So there you go. That's what was happening in her household when she was ranting. Confirmed at least one parent in the house. And the child talks really well too. All right. So that was that one done. Let's go to the other one. Because that was... Oh, I have to say, he does seem to be. He does seem to be. Wind Whispers, nonverbal. Jane Richardson. Yes, that's her son. Everybody says that, actually. It sounds like he was having a good time with his dad, too. There's more, yeah. Yes, Peter. This toad interacts with the kid, says Melissa. Didn't she say her son couldn't talk? Well, that's what she said. And that's why I believe that she stopped alive one of the times. Because, right. So this was 2 hours. This was about half an hour later. This is the same time. She's got the same jumper on. All right. This is really bizarre because now we're going to see a completely different Katie Joy. Completely different. This one you almost have some sympathy for. And that's why I wanted to show you both. And I think she's got she talks about but someone says, but you watched Radiant Brent with Uni and Kyle and made fun of her looks. And she says, I didn't say anything about her looks. They may have, but not me. If I did, I don't remember. I honestly have never watched any of her videos until today. Radio Brit has done a lot of bashing of me, just for your information. What did they say specifically? I don't remember. Radiant Brit bashed you. I only truly recall her calling out your bad behavior. I'm pretty sure she's gotten some pretty petty in some of her criticisms, and I'm also pretty sure that some of her criticisms have resulted in me getting bullied because of her videos. Even some of her opinions and claims of things that she says I have done. She's done. Either way, I wish her well. Hopefully she's learning too. Natalie says he's actually completely opposite of how KJ told us. That's why I think in the Katie Joy Live, when he was coming down the stairs, she stopped it because she's got people convinced that something. Yes, I'm not making you drink. This is my third time watching this video. Who's the one that is insane? Me. All right, here we go. You're going to see a completely different person now.
So, this is me. It's a my goodness, it's Sunday night and I have not been I cleaned all day. I'm like such a mess.
Hang on. You cleaned all day, but you've just done a rant on Instagram, and I'm going to show everybody your Twitter, and I'm going to show you. Look at this. Look, Holly Grace. Holly Grace has changed her name to New York. New York. Start spreading the news. Holly Grace is here. She's now New York, New York. Right? And she's addressing some drama, and she's still looking for a filter. She does actually misses out on lots. You recognise without the flower? Cleaned the filter off. Oh, New York, New York. Wonder why the name changed. Yeah. All right. So she's cleaned. You're making me go wrong with my crochet. Sorry.
So messy right now. Let me find a filter here. And
so she's looking for a filter. What about one that makes you disappear?
I don't really work on the weekends.
I don't really work on the weekends, but I've just done an Instagram live where I've just ranted, and I've just done heaps of postings on Twitter about James Charles, and yeah, okay, you don't work on the weekend. Okay, if you want to convince the people that you don't work on the weekend, you do that. Well, she's also going to say that she doesn't go on social media either, and she was just on Instagram half an hour ago.
I have definitely been taking a lot more time off to deconstruct, to decompress, to spend time with my son and my hubby. And oh my God.
She's been taking time to spend time with her son and her hubby. Right. It doesn't really work at all. She makes YouTube. Crocheting. Wow. Making blanket squares. Wow. Okay. So she's spending more time with her husband and son. Well, they seem to be having fun.
These are some really funny filters. Let's just do this one. Okay. Anyways, so I was thinking about something, and I have been very, very quiet for a couple weeks. And first of all,
did you realize she's been quiet for a couple of weeks?
I'm not here to drag anyone. This is not about being upset. This is not being about being disappointed or anything. I've been really focused on taking care of myself, disconnecting from a lot of the negativity that happens online, and disconnecting from the negative messages and the negative comments. And
well, of course she does. She just deletes them and then blocks the people. And then it says, I'm glad you're taking time for yourself. Hey, Katie, I sure miss seeing you live. I'm glad you're taking time for yourself. Really? Yes. Oops, did I say that out loud? They aren't funny filters. She looks ridiculous. I know that Instagram live one was my funny. I'm blocked off everything. Never been blocked before. She's no, and that's the thing. When we see her over all the platforms, we know she hasn't taken any time off.
And just focusing on my content, which has been amazing because when I focus my time and my energy on what serves me and my business, it like my channel flourishes. And that is sort of where I went wrong before. And I was watching some stuff that's been happening, and I have to be honest.
All right, you better sit down. She's going to be honest here, okay? Everyone sitting down? Hello, Yarn Queen. How are you? Oops. That means she, right. So she's going to be honest here.
Don't watch videos about me.
Of course you do. You're going to prove that you do because you're going to say a lot of information. Take a seat, everybody. And I have $1 million, says Tia.
I get a lot of messages from people, and they're like, oh, so-and-so is saying this about you, and this person's going to expose you, and this person's going to say this, and this person's going to say that. And I just don't pay attention to it, and I just don't watch that kind of stuff. I don't respond to those messages at all when I get them now. I don't really even read them.
No, he didn't. He didn't drop another document today. We're expecting Saltsy to drop one either in the next day or so. We're expecting Saltsy. A lot of people got confused with Uncivil Law. He did a re-upload. He did add it. When she said, what serves me, it sounded like a church person. It's quite KJ. Are you secretly a Christian again? So Toad's there. It says, cool shirt. But I noticed New York disappeared when Toad arrived again. Oh, no, there you go. You look healthy. Salts should be on Tuesday. Yeah, so the next filing is supposed to be Salts. Unless, of course, she knows something that we don't know. And she possibly could. Unless they're going to muddy the waters again.
I don't know what's been going on. But lately I've been getting some messages that there's been sort of people kind of coming to realizations about the directions they want to go with their channels, not okay with certain narratives they've been putting out about me, not okay with the amount of bullying that I've received.
Really? It's interesting how she's managed to turn it around into her. That's all about her. Yeah, that was a re-upload, Tia. That was a re-upload. It was an edited video. Her husband's just seen her for the first time today when she goes live, says Natalie.
But that I've also been told, and I'm seeing that some of these same channels that have been very, very negative towards me are now getting targeted, and now they are kind of experiencing to a small degree what I've gone through for months and months and months. And a lot of these channels are starting to realize it's not fun when you're on the receiving end of that. It's not fun to be the one that's attacked. It's not fun to have people making exposed videos on you. It's not fun.
Hang on a minute, but I don't know anyone else that's been sued for defamation. I don't know anyone that's been sued for defamation and anyone that's been told they've got to keep quiet about it. lot of the videos that I see are all about the lawsuits. The lawsuit. That's what I see. Oh, and people like myself who just want to show that when you say that you've not been online, that you have been online. Tell Tardy that KJ. Yes. Tell Tardy that KJ.
To be criticized, right? And I noticed that
Criticism is not necessarily a bad thing. If she's talking to the BX Beast Boy video, she is. Joe, I said the same thing. She's getting such a kick out of the issue going on in the community. She has to make a I told you so video. Yes. Yes, so she's making it all about her. But one of the things that's really interesting, because she talks about how she used to feel this way about, and she mentions legal issues. And she talks as if the legal issues have disappeared. We know that they haven't. We know it's only the beginning. And she's trying to deflect all of that. But yes, she's doing that I told you so video.
That one of the biggest people that caused me the most stress and probably anxiety, BX Beast Boy, actually dumped 400,000 views off of his channel this week, deleted. And I went to his page just to see why. I looked on his social blade. I heard that there was some drama going on with him.
My understanding is, I do think so, Sunny. Yep, I do think she's worried. My understanding is he moved all her content onto his second channel, or his KJ content. That's my understanding of it. I could be wrong.
And again, I did not respond, but I went to his social blade because I was watching someone's video, Radiant Brit, who, by the way, I've never watched before. I know she makes videos where she's like really not nice about me, but I actually found her decent, you know, like.
She gave credit. These they aren't. Yeah, they're on this game. I know. That's amazing, isn't it? Yes, BXB caused her the most stress. Correct. That's what she just said. But you tried to sue Steve McRae. It's funny, isn't it? It's not funny, but it's funny.
I think she's starting to get a little taste of what it feels like when people come at her. And I wasn't annoyed when I was watching her, honestly, even when she was talking negatively about me.
Now, she said, I've never watched her before, but then down here, somebody says, I didn't say anything about her looks. They may have, but it wasn't me. If I did, I don't remember. I honestly had never watched any of her videos until today. But there's, of course, I think I saw on the Reddit team, they actually had evidence where they've actually got screenshots of the chat where she actually has mentioned her name. Even though she completely bashed Radiant Brit for hours and hours with uni, she's full of it. Yeah, lots of people said that. Can you see her smirking up a storm while saying all this? She's laughing. Yep, of course she is. She's loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Oddly. But anyways, she was upset about BX Beast Boy and things that he had said about her, right? And I'm like, and she's talking about his channels dying and how, you know, like he's such a bully and he had some sort of thing that happened with this one of these other haters of mine that's been horrible to me on Twitter.
Another one of the haters of mine. Really? She can't say the word creator, can she? They've got to be haters. Why can't she show some respect?
Or something wax. I don't watch this stuff. And they're all getting it.
For somebody that doesn't watch, she knows all their names. That's what's blowing me away at the moment. For somebody that doesn't watch, she knows everything. He just moved all these videos. Thought she was a good investigator. Yeah. Hello, Rock Chick. What do you mean? What do I create? Hello, Rock Chick. I think Rock Chick is a KJ stan. I think. Of course, she watches every single video. She knows. She does know. But you are welcome, Rock Chick. I create music, actually. I create laughs. What is my content? Oh, I have a variety of different content, Rock Chick. I don't actually. I don't think you can put me into a box. There's lots of stuff. You can see the playlists I have. Anyone who has an opinion is wrong in her book. On this channel, I've been doing some music. I do commentary. I do foster kitten stuff. Still here and listening, signed on to my work. I'm working away. Thank you. Well, once I've finished this, I've got to go do my music assignments. I do have lots of other stuff. Cool. Yeah. I'm sure she had. Good, thank you. Yeah, and I create community. Yes. Yeah, you can check. Go for it. I create community. I do. Thank you, Bibbly Bobbly Boo.
Attacked, right? And now they're all like having their like moment of zen, or they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be doing this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I go to his channel and I notice that like all the videos about me, all of them are gone. He had made over 60 videos about me, and they were really nasty. Going after my appearance, my parenting, all because of.
But she doesn't watch the videos.
Him and I having a misunderstanding, and him recording something that I didn't know was recorded, and then he turned that into his channel, and he built his channel off of it, and he got 404,000 views, apparently, off content he made about me. Yes, over 60 videos about me. Yes. And I got a lot of criticism for making videos about other creators and or making videos about the Duggars, and like I never cared. I never struck him. I never reported him. I just tried to let it be and just stay to myself, because I figured long enough, if people saw what he was doing to me, they would eventually become his target. And now some of these people are becoming his target, and they're realizing that really it's awful to be on the receiving end of that. And so I started thinking about this. And this is just me putting this out there.
No, that's right. We don't hate her. We do not like how she's hurt many people. Her behavior is unacceptable. She's never been accountable and does not apologize. Yeah, Doug is a. I had a guess earlier today. I said 270, so I was out. 267, and the Doug is on loan. I think she's trying to start with him again, but we know. So it is all on his other channel, the Garfield channel, isn't it? It's all been moved.
But if you want to be part of a community that is negative, and the whole goal of the community is to like literally deplatform someone and hate them.
You mean Rock Chick movies, TV shows? Yeah, I've noticed. I did recognize her from some of KJ's lives. That's why. Yeah. KJ's problems have always been her behaviors and inconsistencies in judging others, says Peter. Yeah, I'll work that out. But thank you for the Morning Movies TV show. She's probably going to send KJ an email to say that I'm talking about her. That's fine. She can do that.
Spread vicious things about them. It is a good thing, Jean. But anyways, so if you're part of that community, you have to realize that at any time, the people that are going after me can also start going after you. And it can happen like that because a lot of these people that are going after me used to be people that watched me, used to be my members.
Well, that's true. Used to be people that watched her, people that used to be members. KJ Spice, of course, she has them everywhere. I ain't feeding no spies.
Used to be moderators. And online, it doesn't take very much for people to go after you. They'll just do it. Any perceived slight, you don't respond to their messages. You don't see a chat that they leave you. You don't make content that they like. You say something in one of your videos that they find offensive. They don't like the angle that you took or the narrative that you're pushing out.
Well, that's when they give you constructive criticism. And you say, oh, I didn't realize that I had done that. I'm really sorry. I will try and do better. She does. I believe she does watch them all. You were a sub too? Yeah. I ain't feeding no spies.
And the thing is when you align yourself in negativity and you align yourself in hate, all of that is going to come back at you. And all of those people that you aligned with, you could eventually find yourself being turned on by those same people. Now,
not in my community, because I treat everybody with respect.
I was told
the fact that she's saying the way she's saying, and I was told. I subbed, watched 3 videos and I unsubbed, says Jane. Wow. I reckon she has more subs just like that again. Yep. The interesting thing is that she talks about you've got to look after your members. Yes, and she had only members. She had only members only. Yeah, you can only check for your member. She's trying dang hard to push a false narrative. The amount of people that call me out is completely normal. No, not true.
I'm honestly feeling really good, and I'm not here to start any hate. I've noticed some creators are, for instance, Charlotte. I don't watch her channel, but I heard she was getting relentlessly bullied and attacked, which I don't think is okay.
The fact that she said, I don't watch her channel.
Okay. I don't think, even if she has said things critical of me, I don't think other people should be attacking, harassing, or being rude to her. And I'm noticing Amanda Pants even was like, I'm done with this. I can't focus on this anymore. I'm not going to nitpick her anymore. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate that people are...
Amanda Pants got bored. A lot of people just got bored because what the problem is that there's no change happening.
Being a little bit more chill, and that's really nice. I'm not ever going to be starting drama with people. I don't really...
She's not going to be starting drama with people, apparently, allegedly.
Want to do that? I don't want to be engaging in that kind of behavior. I don't want to be on YouTube to fight with other creators or to try to hurt somebody else's channel at my gain. You know what I mean? I don't want to try to ruin someone's name so that I can get some of their subscribers. That's just never how I've worked. And that's why I've always
tried to stick to public figures off YouTube, like on reality shows or stuff that's in the news, right?
So who was Tuddy? Hey, G'd up with Gigi. How are you? Have you told Tuddy that yet? I think we need to have a rotation roster, and like somebody just needs to write that one line in all of her chats. Have you told Tuddy that? And then the next person goes in. Have you told Tuddy that? I subbed too because I didn't like KJ's actions, not because anyone else didn't like them. Happily found other channels. Hello, Ritz. How are you?
And I just think that if you're engaging in that kind of behavior and if you're engaging in that community, and that's why you're coming to this channel, and I'll be honest, I don't like coming to this channel because the haters think it's funny to downvote me. They think it's funny to leave me nasty comments. They think it's hilarious to bully and harass me on this channel.
How can we do that? We have to pay. It says members only. I'm not going to pay to talk to you. Seriously, I'm not going to pay to talk to you.
They think that this is their space to hate watch me and to be rude. And so I end up just like not wanting to come on this channel because
Well, she's calm because only members me. Well, don't forget you've been on Instagram.
I don't feel like this channel is really my home. And I can't go to my other channel and do these kinds of talks. I can't talk to you guys about this kind of stuff over there. But I would think that if you really don't like someone and if you really don't find joy in watching them, then don't. Like, don't. Like, I went through a really hard time.
Now, this is where she's talking in past tense, right? This is where she starts talking about in past tense, and he's talking about the lawsuit. And she gives the impression, in my opinion, that it's all over and it's done and dusted. Now, we all know that we haven't even got to the start of it yet. We haven't even got jurisdiction sorted out. We're a long, long way. We've got a long road. At the end of the day, that's right. But again, she's not acknowledging any of her people.
This fall, and it was like the hardest few months of my life, outside of when my son almost died. And if you've ever gone through any sort of legal stuff, you guys, it's really stressful. And then when you know your truth, right? You know your truth, and then you have everyone else in your ears, right? And they're lying on you, and they're using that moment to hurt you. You become defensive and you get scared.
So, see, she's talking about legal. She did talk about legal, but she's using past tense. All right? She's using legal and past tense, and she's saying, "Oh, I'm not like that anymore. I'm really cool."
And you're like, everything feels like it's closing in on you, right? And my really toughest moments became fun for these people. And I remember watching Framing Britney Spears a couple weeks ago, and I thought about how the media treated Britney.
Well, now she's going to compare herself to Britney Spears. I thought she was going to cry. But she's going to compare herself to Britney Spears now. This is when I went, oh, really? But yeah, she goes, oh yes, if you've been involved in any legal stuff and I'm in a better place now. Well, no, your lawsuit's still there. Because I think people were saying that, because I've noticed in a few lives, people are talking about as if the lawsuit's over. So.
Going through her mental breakdown. just like enjoys watching the meltdown, right? They enjoy watching someone crumble. They enjoy building someone up to like watch them fall apart. And when you are in that space and when you get to that place, it's like nothing you say or do will satisfy what anyone else out there is saying. And you feel like you're super alone and you feel like everyone hates you. And like you see how Brittany was treated, you see how we treat people.
I think it's coming. It was due Wednesday, I think. I think somebody said it's due Wednesday. So I think she really believes it's over. Yep, comparing herself to Brittany. Just like she loves other people's meltdowns, she revels in them. Correct, just Jane. She enjoys watching people that makes her content. So sad. Nash Dog. Hello, Nash Dog Mum. Bit like James Charles at the moment, Peter Hunt. Yes, well, she's done a whole pile of stuff on Twitter about him. She's in the place because of denial. She said a bomb was coming in her filings, but none came. I don't think she knows anything about her own lawsuits, says Ray Ray. Well, she's not been mentioned for a while. How she treats people, says Sunny. Thought she didn't watch it. Exactly. Hello, Police Wife Life. She said in the beginning she doesn't watch other YouTubers, yet refers to them and seems to know what they said about her. Yes, she does. She does, Marissa. Sorry, Marissa. Hello, Marissa. Everyone's coming in. Up to 153 now. Wow.
When they're struggling and we think it's funny. And the truth is it's not funny. And it's made me really think of things from a completely separate lens when I'm doing my content. And I'm starting to realize like how we shouldn't be glorifying in other people's, like, in terms of like if they're going through some serious
like this is where I found it really interesting because she's talking about making happy content. When was the last happy video that you saw that KJ made where she wasn't digging the boot into somebody? I can't remember.
mental health stuff. And what I went through this fall was really serious. Like, it was the hardest I think I've ever experienced. And the amount of piling on that I went through with people just using my name because it was profitable, it was really hard. But I also realized.
So she said it was really hard. Using my name because it was really hard. All people have been doing is reading court filings. And there's still more to come. KJ, there's still more to come. Because she thought she was going to destroy Chelsea. No one cared yet. We should be glorifying what, KJ? That's right.
That's part of this job. So I'm not complaining, and I'm not saying that I'm a victim. I'm not. Like, I'm a public figure. There was a big thing happening in my life. People were having opinions on it. It was hard because a lot of the things that were being said about me were flat out.
She said there was a big thing happening in my life, and people were talking about. I'll just rewind it. She's talking in past tense.
But I also realized that's part of this job. So I'm not complaining, and I'm not saying that I'm a victim. I'm not. Like, I'm a public figure. There was a big thing happening in my life. People were having opinions on it. It was hard because a lot of the things that were being said about me were flat out lies. But that's okay. People can say whatever they want, and they can have any opinion that they want. But like, when you align yourself in a community whose sole purpose is to literally just watch someone crumble, you start to become a really negative, horrible, angry person.
So that's what that's what it is, hey? That's why she's an angry, horrible person, in my opinion. But see, she used past tense when she was talking about tough life. People were talking about it. She's a public figure. No one knows anything about her life. She doesn't share herself. That's right. And Todd says, in my opinion, it's all about low self-esteem for most of them. They need to downgrade others to feel better about themselves. Well, yes. Well, that's Katie Joy, Toad. Natalie says, you are right, Joe. She's totally speaking as if it's all past tense. Yes, she is. Her case is not over. Salts needs to still respond to Brown. And every time she does this live, something happens with the case. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, it's 12:16 a.m. I'm staying up really late for you guys. Extra read all about it. KJ is still being sued. Again, she's not squeaky clean. All these people not making up lies about her. It's not a conspiracy against her. Well, and the other thing is, remember, lawsuits are just allegations. No, it's only the beginning. We haven't even got jurisdiction yet. We haven't even got to jurisdiction yet. Thank you, Silly Crow. I nearly read it as Silly Cow, but Silly Crow, thank you. Hello, Marissa. She's acting like it's over because her only defense right now is to mentally deal with it. I'm sure it is coming for it. Yeah, probably. And then and Nadia says it's pretty cool if you get a kick out of ganging up on anyone. Well, she gets a kick. She gets a kick out of the Duggars past my bedtime. Yeah, if you need to go to bed, Gail, you do that. It's past mine too. Maybe if Toad had any self-esteem, he would tell her to get away from the damn camera, look after a kid, and him go to work. Yeah. Yeah, I know Christoph Van der Wees. That's pretty cool, eh? Not only am I new here, but I'm late. I got myself blocked by KJ in this live last night. Did you really, Mary? How did you manage to do that? Didn't think you were going live. Oh, yeah, it was unexpected. It was unplanned. I didn't do it. A plan. It's been pointed out at this time Tuddy is still taken as truth over her as part of the case. Yes, she is. So everything that Tuddy has said is deemed to be the truth. And don't forget, they haven't actually defended. Welcome to the Block by Katie Club, Mary. And they never even defended the defamation. Thank you. I told her she had a real attitude. I guess she didn't like that. No, she wouldn't have liked it. Croak, green tree for it. Yeah. I've been watching Joe on Roku. Oh, cool. Thank you. Who hasn't she blocked? I'd love to see the blocked list, actually. Really would. Oh, hello, sweet tea's recovery time. I just woke up and I must not understand what's in her head. Her voice sounds like she's lying. Well, that's true. She can sit aside in path attempts. Yes, true. For her new subscribers. Yes, true. That's a good point. Oh, you were telling the truth. Wow. Yeah. They've been very quiet. Oh, it's on in her head. Yeah, I don't know. Sweet tea. Oh, I reckon it's. I would love to see her blocked count on all her social media. I reckon it'd be a really cool. If my feathers got a bit ruffled when I recognised the rock chick name. Yeah, well, she hasn't come back as far as I can see. She's probably watching. That's okay. I recognised it too.
Right. This is why I don't follow. This is why I don't follow Janelle Easton anymore, because I don't like her, right? And I don't want to watch someone that I don't like. I don't want to report on someone that I don't like. I honestly cannot watch her and feel good about what I'm watching. I feel annoyed 99% of the time, and I don't report on her hardly at all anymore, right? Because there's no value in me putting out a video on her anymore where I just feel like
What to translate? Oops, sorry. To translate, she's saying I don't make any money out of her. I hope for every KJ we get tenfold. Thank you. But she that's a tidy. Yep. Hello, Irene B. Welcome.
like, well, I don't like her. She's a terrible person, right? So I have stuck true to what I enjoy and the content that I like, and that happens to be the fundy stuff because that's the stuff that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about helping educate and people understand the detrimental sides of cults and religious fundamentalism and modesty.
So what's wrong with modesty? Can somebody tell me what's wrong with modesty? We still have the Instagram. Which, yeah. Cool. Welcome, Irene. Janelle Easton comment is something she copied from Radiant Brit's content. Just seeing her numbers come out. Wow, that's interesting. Thank you, G'd up. Thank you. I've watched Joe a lot. Just now jumped onto Yap It Up. Cool.
The like harmful effects of like the religious patriarchy and modesty and purity culture and all of that. And I can do it in a way now.
But tell me, what is wrong with what is wrong with modesty? I thought she said that she dresses modestly. I've just messed it up. Yeah, all right. I'd have to find it. I'll have to see if I can find it. Oh, is that? I don't know.
Closing in on you, right? And my really toughest moments became fun for these people. Al Brown, so I'm still gonna hope that, you know, and I still root their kids on when they don't fall into the trap of polygamy, much like the Jill Dillard and any of the Duggars that sort of break free from some of those constraints that their parents have put on them. And, you know, it's just finding a balance. And it took me a long time to find that balance. And it took me a long.
So Toad says, let's hope the haters fall off even more. So then what's recently happened, I think then she'll be more likely to do more lies. We know you guys love them. Really? So when the haters fall off, I'm not going anywhere. Whoopsies. I've just lost the whole lot. It's their choice. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. It's fun always here to watch what's sweet folks. I have to get. Maybe it's just because maybe she can't get long flowing hair. Todd desperate for the money. Well, he's just started his own business, so he needs, maybe KJ can show her shoulder on the live. True. Yeah, I slept in this morning. I thought I'd miss. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to come live. I had been to choir. I felt a lot better. This is my third time watching these videos, so.
Time to find a place where I felt I could still deliver what I felt comfortable with, but then also satisfy both camps. And that's hard. I'll tell you something about YouTube. Hate video.
Okay, she got her first super chat. I enjoy commentary videos even on you, but it got very unhealthy, unnecessary, nasty. I see your growth. You look healthier too. Wish you all the best.
videos are very profitable. I enjoy commentary videos even on you, but it got very unhealthy and unnecessarily nasty. I see your growth. You look healthier too. Wish you the best. Thank you, Susan. And it's just, you have to, if you build your channel on hate, you're going to get views right off the bat, but then you're also going to have an audience that's volatile. A lot of the people that are hate watchers can be unhinged.
So apparently you're all volatile and unhinged. You're volatile and unhinged. I didn't say that. I think you're wonderful. That's the relationship. Oh, that's right, Marissa. Is she in charge of the community now? Yeah. Volatile and unhinged.
They can have mental health issues. They can be very angry in their lives.
There you go. You've also all got mental health issues and you're very angry in your lives.
They can be very upset or in a dark.
Very dark, but if I was unhinged, I'd play my hormones. Have you had your hormones checked, Kale? Yes, it was. It was. Yeah. The hypocrisy. Oh, that's cracked me up.
Spot in their place. You can have people become very unhinged on you and flip on you. And so when you attract a hate audience, it will come back and bite you. And that's what I learned very early on with how I covered certain stories and why I don't want to attract a hate audience. Hate audience to me are toxic. They are, while they generate revenue and those videos make you money, you're getting people that are angry, that are watching you. And so those same people that will love you one day will literally turn on you like that. And as your channel grows, you become very mindful of the fact that one slight of someone who is a huge supporter of yours can turn into your biggest nightmare, because that person can start a hate channel on you, or they can.
Well, she'd know. So nice to join in when Joe is laughing at that cute son. Yeah. What did she just delete? I don't know what she just deleted. Need that laugh. All those who are unhinged, toxic, mentally unstable, volatile, please form a line. My murderous cult. Oh, the murderous cult. The only way she can keep each. Yeah, that's right. Did you see where Todd wrote nice shirt in the chat? How KJ must have decided to take his shirt without asking. He throws a dig at her here and there. Yeah, but she didn't even acknowledge the comment either. I don't consider this a hate channel. No, neither would I. Well, the good news is, so we've got 17 minutes 50 left to go. It didn't seem to be going for. It seemed to go on for hours when I was watching it this afternoon on my own.
Can start a Reddit about you, or they can do so many different things to try to like bring you down. At the end of the day, I don't want to bring down anyone. I would love for like Josh Duggar to finally get just like served some some sort of sentence for what he did, but that's, until he does, like, unless he offends again, that's not going to happen. And that scares me. I would love to be, I would love the Duggar kids to get paid and, Jim Bob to, there's some accountability there, but I don't want to take away their platform. I don't want to deplatform them. And I think if you really want to be about anti-cancel culture, you have to be mindful of that. You can't, if you're trying to be, I don't want to silence you. I don't want my freedom of speech taken from me. Then you can't try to take other people's freedom of speech from them. And that's the place that I got to. That's why I don't watch the videos anymore. I don't report videos. I don't look at videos. I honestly don't even pay attention.
Yeah, everything that everyone's made about you. Of course, she doesn't want to deplatform them. Who would she talk about? Of course well, that's right. They're her cash cow. The Duggars are her cash cow. Without the Duggars, she would have nothing. Good morning. A bit from yeah. This is no way we're trying to create positive to offset KJ's negativity. Yeah. Well, my whole thing is that she just contradicts herself all the time. I don't watch anything, but I know what you do. That's right. Well, that's because she's got spies everywhere.
I hope over time this channel becomes a safer space for me, but this channel is not going to be.
Hang on. It's your own channel. The only person that can make it a safe space is yourself. Like, hello? Like, what do you want everyone else to do about it? It's not their channel. I set the rules in motion straight away. The only rule that I have is that you must show respect. You can disagree, but it has to be respectful.
Giving you guys, I'm not gonna have meltdowns. I don't even really enjoy live videos anymore. I don't like live streaming because I feel like people just want to find a way to set me off, and I am an emotional person, and so they will say something and they know that I'll see it and then I might react to it, and that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for that reaction, and I just need to not react. And that's what I learned is the less I react, the better I do. The less I react, the better my channel does. But my only point in all of this is that to all of the other creators that are starting to feel like some of what I've gone through, perhaps now maybe you could use this as an opportunity to realize that while it might have felt good to get those views and that money off of me, just remember that can all come back to you.
I'm really sad. So it's because it's not the fact that people are watching me. They're watching me watch you. And so you're the reason why my channel's growing, not me. But KJ is watching right now after Rock Chick's report. Say hello, everyone. Yes, I say hello to KJ all the time. In fact, if she wants to pop on, I can give her a link so we can do a live together. She now feels she's a kinship with her fellow YouTuber, says Marissa. When you feel like her Insta was a foul rant, and then 30 minutes later she does this live, completely different personality. Maybe it felt good to call somebody out who was a liar, says Nash Dog. No one is responsible for how you acted after when it's on you, says Dawn. I didn't watch her live, but watched you comment on her live because of you, not her. That's right. People are just trying to make you understand when you contradict everything you say, you lie. And you make false apologies, says Wind Whispers. for different platforms. That's right. People don't see the same. So someone says, most of us are here because we love the content. We love the content, chat, and appreciate the work Without a Crystal Ball is producing. Total kudos for Katie for all her work. Really?
And the same trolls that trolled me. And I feel really bad about this with Charlotte. I saw that she got doxxed, and that made me really sad. Because that same person that doxed Charlotte has doxed me so many times, has threatened me so many.
Hang on. I thought somebody else was responsible for doxing her. It just, the name changes depending on who it is. So I can't keep up. Brown told you to shut your mouth. That's right. Get Charlotte run out of your mouth. It's always back to her. Yeah. Again, I thought she didn't pay any attention to that. That's right. She doesn't, allegedly.
Many times. And that person that doxed her, it wasn't called for. If Charlotte wants to share her story and share her opinion, she has a right to. She has a channel that she can do that on. And I don't think that because you don't agree with her, retaliation should be doxing. And I tried to be so clear with people when I was like, I think people were just so caught up that they were not listening to me when I said, these people that you're engaging with, that you're getting information from, they are not good people, especially those people on Twitter. I'll tell you a few things that I've learned about a couple of those people on Twitter. I don't know their names.
Here we go. She's going, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
But I know a few things. I know a lot of them have been doing this for a very long time. I know that these trolls that have been doing this to Charlotte and to other creators that are starting to back out or trying to go against the narrative that they want out there, they've done this to teen moms. I know that at least 2 of these accounts, I don't know which ones, literally harassed Janelle Evans to the point that they showed up at her house. I know another person had to get a restraining order, and
yeah, I know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? She does make you want to go, grrr. But KJ doesn't watch Charlotte or our community. Says, please. I know. That's what she keeps telling us. She doesn't watch it.
a lawsuit to get these accounts to stop. So this history that these accounts have, the instability and the threats that they've gone through, like, I'm not the first person they've done this to. They've done it to Janelle Evans. They've done it to other people, other cast members from Teen Mom. And now they're just doing it to now I'm just their target. So now it's just anyone else. And so these were the same accounts that you guys all loved because they were talking shit about me, and they were the ones I was telling you to be careful of. So I wasn't saying that because I honestly was felt bad. It was more like a warning. You guys, honestly, I've had people from connected to Janelle literally say, this person, and this person have been doing this for 10 plus years. They have, one of these people showed up at Janelle's house. One of these people.
She just said that. She's just repeating herself now and trying to use clout. I've been around that long. You inserted yourself and were called out then like you are now. And that's what we're doing. We're just calling out the behavior.
We had to get a restraining order against. One of these people we had to send a cease and desist letter to. Like the level.
She's talking about a cease and desist letter like it's important. When she didn't have heat in the house and no emergency heaters with that little boy. I mean, our heater is new and we still have an emergency heater. All this waffle, I know. Oh dear. Knows who, why she's not telling Charlotte, says Mary HB. Yeah. Oh, nice. Cease and desist. She's got some nerve. She really thinks I know she's talking about we had to send a cease and desist to get them to stop. But who is she talking to? Her members or everyone else? Because she's saying her members are trolls and love the channels that they. Yes, I know. No one decided what to pick on her. It's all lies. The videos and tweets about Tati and her husband. Oh dear. Yeah.
These people have gone to interrupt and destroy other people's lives. It's really scary. And so just think about that when you're interacting with these accounts, these anonymous accounts on Twitter, and just be mindful of that. And like Charlotte and Leslie and whoever else like wants to speak out and say like they don't agree or they're seeing the light or whatever. I can't talk about any of that, but like at the end of the day, it's very popular to like run with something before you know all of the information and just like run with that narrative. And just think of for a fact, like we value and we talk so much about transparency and being honest. So if you're going to hold me to a standard of being honest and doing research, just do that to yourself.
But you don't research. You just check Instagram. You know what, Mazda? You can talk about anything you want. If you don't want to talk about ours, you're more than welcome. I don't have any rules like that. Oh, thank you, Bibbly Bobbly Boo. I don't know any other creator that has seen the light. Why is she doing this? Oh, that's right. It's time for a salty response. That's right. That's what I believe. I love Yassine D. Shirel. Ain't nothing. Hypocrisy. Oh, she's actually done me in now. She's so full of it, says Jane. KJ went from Charlotte to Tiger Woods back to Charlotte. Yep. Google and Instagram is research to Katie. Research for weeks. Yes. So anyway, we've only got 10 minutes left.
Right? And I heard Radiant Brit, actually say something that I agreed with. We cannot hold one person accountable to a set of standards that we don't hold others to the same set of standards with, right? So if you're going to criticize me for doing things, just make sure that you are also evaluating everyone around you. And just because they don't like me and you don't like me, don't assume that all of your morals are the same.
I've never said I don't like you. I don't like your behavior. It's different. Not liking somebody's behavior or what they're doing and wanting them to change and do better. 10 minutes, thank God the Ginny's running out, says Peter. And Rick wasn't here to pour your drinks either.
I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because some of these people have no morals because they're anonymous or they think they're anonymous, right? And they think that they're never going to be found out. And we do know some of their identities now. And, it's scary. So I don't want people to get hurt. I don't want people that are covering me to get hurt. I don't want these channels that have made critical videos of me getting hurt. I don't want people to get doxxed. I've been doxxed so many times. It's scary. And when I saw that Charlotte got doxxed and I saw what that person said about her, I was like heartbroken for her. So she's like, that's not cool. Like,
I was heartbroken for her, but I don't know anything about her. I don't watch her channel.
It's not necessary. Just because she didn't agree with you and whatever, that wasn't necessary. Okay. So I do have a heart, even for the people that are critical of me. And I just think like everyone maybe.
Christopher White says, sure. Yes, it has actually. It's there was not a lot of talking. Because there's not many people in the chat at all.
Maybe this is a good learning curve for everyone. I don't know. I don't expect this channel to be a place where I even feel comfortable. I don't expect the people around to stop hating me. That's just part of this job. I'm just glad that I'm at a place right now where it doesn't bother me.
Wait until tomorrow. Or Wednesday. Wait until. Oh no, it is tomorrow now. It's 12:46. It's Tuesday morning, and I have to do a presentation in 7 hours. Oops, I haven't even finished it yet. She's deleting probably.
I just think like the sad thing to me is that throughout this entire process, people are scared to like comment on my Twitter. I have no engagement on my Twitter.
Because you block everybody. Anyone that comments gets blocked or hidden. You can't hide replies and then go, oh, no one's replied.
And people laugh at it and they're like, oh, nobody talks to your Twitter. Well, that's because the trolls have been so vicious that nobody wants to comment because they know that they're going to get hounded and harassed by these accounts. And they got what they wanted. So all I can say is I'm not blocking a whole lot of people these days on Twitter. And if you want to engage.
It's funny. Rick got blocked the other day. So she's not blocking very many people. Oh dear. There's a huge difference between not liking someone, not liking someone's behavior. I love my children and grandchildren. However, don't always like their behavior. That's right. There's a difference. Everyone was scared of her. I know. Willow V says there's no one left. That's right. She's blocked everybody. There's no one left.
But the best thing I can say to you is if you don't want to be hounded by these accounts that are harassing, just block them. Instead of fighting back with them, just block them. They will come.
So she said she doesn't block, and now she's saying now block. Oh, she blocked you 2 years ago. I got blocked when I said something nice about Emily.
Comment behind the block and then just block them. That's all you have to do. Like, you don't have to interact with them.
So now she's saying you just block people.
You don't have to respond to them. All they want is to make you upset and to get you going. That's all they want to do. So that's why I ignore them. So just ignore them. And you can engage without having to worry about them. I think people think they have to like fight my battles or they're going to get harassed. And like, if we allow that sort of mentality to win, it's almost like they win and they get what they want, right? It doesn't happen on any of my other platforms at all. My Instagram gets so many positive comments.
Oh, actually, I'm blocked on that as well. I'm blocked on Instagram too. I haven't been blocked on Facebook yet, but I'm sure that that's coming soon. Love this advice. She's so helpful.
Comments. My Facebook gets so many positive comments. My YouTube, my big channel, it's 99% positive comments. Rarely a negative, I hate you, Katie comment. Rarely. And people are generally really, the trolls just don't show up there. So if you don't get the trolls anything to talk about, they won't talk. So just don't respond to them.
That's right. Yeah. Trying not to listen to anyone. Correct. KJ Blockers Unite. Who knew? Yeah, who knew it was a comedy channel, hey?
Yeah, I just don't really enjoy Twitter, but Twitter's a good place to get information out sometimes really quick. Anyways, that's all I have to say. EX deleted like 400,000 views that were videos about me. A couple people are not making videos about me. Charlotte got doxxed, which I think is really crappy, and I'm really sorry that happened to you, Charlotte. People are getting threatened just for trying to share their truth, and I think that's not okay either. And, you know, the best thing that I can teach you, or I can say from my point of view, is just stick to your truth. And it's hard. You'll get backlash, and you'll get people that hate you. That's part of growth, man. Like, it's hard to have people hate you, but you don't grow without haters. And every single person that has a platform has haters. And every single celebrity has haters, right? So,
But you're not a celebrity.
you're jumping around from community to community, and you're hate watching, and you're doing these kinds of things, and you that kind of stuff. Like, it's, you know, I'm sure it's fun, but at the same time, just remember that, like, a lot of misinformation is. I'm really glad a lot of those videos by some of these people have been taken down, because there were so many lies that were in those videos. I'm really glad that people are starting to see what is going on, so that's good. But I won't be talking about like anything just because I'm happier when I don't. And
Because she's been told she's not allowed to talk about anything, because it means she's going to be breaking a court order. Seriously, stop lying. My truth is, KJP, you are full of poo.
I just feel better in general when I don't address anything, to be honest. But I saw that tonight, and I was just like, well, listen, I don't actually even hate reading Brit. I thought her video was actually slightly interesting. But she was upset, and I just thought, you know, I don't even know if I'll say that. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll leave comments on. But anyways, I don't hate any of you guys. I don't dislike anyone. I'm not going to have any more I'm not going to have any more like crying. I'm not going to melt down. I'm not going to react anymore. I'm honestly, the last month has been exactly what I needed. I'm feeling very I'm working out every day.
The last month was exactly what she needed. Filing frivolous motions. In fact, one was an invalid motion. Okay, we understand that. Wasting money? Okay.
I'm working. I'm tuning everything out. And sometimes it's like the best thing you can do. And my advice is, if you want to if you want to see your channel grow, the best thing you can do is to just get out of the weeds, get out of the drama, get out of the back and forth, and just put out the content that you like to make. Make the content, thank your subscribers, thank your members, and then just turn off your YouTube and go to bed.
Thank your members. Thank your subscribers. Really? When was the last time that she thanked her members and subscribers? In fact, she didn't even thank the person for the super chat. I'm sorry, have I missed some? I tickled pink. Hello, tickled pink. Yeah. Thank your members. Thank your subscribers. You got to do that, remember?
biggest mistake, my number one biggest mistake, was trying to please everyone. And then 2, trying to fight against a narrative that I could never change, right? I was never going to convince any of these people to like me. And now that I realize that I can't, I feel so much better. So, I'm never going to let my guard down because I'm not going to be friends with any YouTubers. Like, I don't have relationships with YouTubers. I'm cordial. I'll speak to them. I'm never going to be, I'm too busy, you guys. Honestly, I spend 90% of my day, well, like, when I'm working, I don't have time. I'm filming, I'm editing, I'm getting content put together, right? I don't have time for the other stuff.
She doesn't have time for the other stuff. Husband, child. Oh dear. No, we want to get some self-awareness. That's right. Dear hi new YouTube creators, please do not take this advice. Yes, it's her attempt of trying to comfort other creators. Too busy for you, YouTube. Oh, yeah. Told to come get your girl. Too busy. She spends 7% of her day cut off before saying working. Yes.
I don't have time to even like check my social media half the time. I do have time on the weekends. That's when
But she still manages to block everybody. Don't have time to check my social media, but I'll still block you on Twitter.
Spend most of the time on my Instagram. And tomorrow on the main channel, we will have an update on Justin and Claire's wedding. I've got a lot more information to share with you about like what venue they were at, who was there, who was in the wedding party, blah, 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 blah. We'll have a recap for Sister Wives.
Don't care.
And we're going to be doing some more stuff on the troubled teen industry this week and Dr. Phil. So,
Don't care.
So, I hope you guys have a good night.
And we're getting a new filing this week too. Yay! I have to say, that's what's exciting me. I'm having court filing withdrawal symptoms.
If you haven't followed me on Instagram, it's I think that's a really good place for you guys to get your fix of like you can see what I'm actually working on because I share photos and stuff. And like go to @withoutacristoball if you want to. You're by far my favorite YouTuber because I feel you're the one that only ones in the right. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I feel like I'm just old. Oh, one more thing. So, James Charles, you guys. I want to just like put a like friendly reminder out there. So he's been caught sending some lewd messages to some of his fans, right? And he's been exposed for that. I just want to like put this.
So now she's going on to James Charles. How so? I don't know. I don't know how she found out about any of them. Peter, I am not semi-joyfully available. I am joyfully available for filings. I'm joyfully available for filings.
It's out there just for anyone that has a channel. There's a power imbalance between you and your fans. When your fans reach out to you or your subscribers reach out to you, you hold a position of power to them because they are so excited to talk to you. Please don't manipulate your fans by asking them for lewd photos or manipulating them to flirt with you or, just don't do that kind of stuff. Don't ask for lewd photos from your fans. Don't give your fans lewd photos. just in general, don't manipulate your fans, and just try to be grateful. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I don't respond as much lately, and I'm sorry about that. Yes, you can listen to Amanda Householders as a podcast. It's no longer on TV, but you can listen to it as a podcast. There's lots of stuff moving with Amanda Householder, with Paris Hilton, with a new lawsuit in Utah. There might actually start to get some change started here.
And there's a new filing for your lawsuit too. Oh, that would be horrible for her. Gail, you misrepresented me. I'm joyfully available for filings, lawsuit filings. They are commenting, isn't it? Yeah, so that one says, you're by far my favorite YouTuber because I feel you're one of the only ones in the right mindset. Hello, Cece. She doesn't like Radiant Brit because she calmly, correctly, simply calls her out on her bad behaviors. Yes, that's right. Turn orange like that. You got to do the @ symbol, I think.
So, but we'll be doing a lot more with that. And I'm getting back to what I'm passionate about, and I just hope you guys are enjoying it. Before you go, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And just remember to be nice to each other. And oh yeah, WOACB official is my Twitter, and at Without a Crystal Ball is my Instagram. And then I'm on Facebook too, Without a Crystal Ball. So any one of those platforms, you can get stuff from me. And to all the accounts that are getting, all these channels that are getting like doxed and stuff, I'm really sorry that that's happening to you guys. The best thing that you guys can do is just to not engage with these people and to just ignore them and to not try to bring any more attention to it, because the more attention you give them, the better they feel. And just try to and I'm sorry it happened to you guys. You don't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. Have a good night.
So there you go. All right. So I've now been on for over 3 hours. So thank you all for joining me. That was a lot easier to sit through that for the third time with people. The second time I actually really went in. It was just too much. Oops, I was going to be nice, but can't. It's a bit like that, isn't it? Anyway, I need to go to bed because I've got a presentation at 9:30 in the morning, and it's 1:03 now. So I'm going to have to love you all and leave you all, but I want to thank you for all. Thank Christopher Fanaways. Oh, we'll see. I hope so. Katie Jane's Joy, you got to pay for yes. So yes, we've been up late, but I want to thank you all for joining me. It was a surprise filing, a surprise live. I just felt really good after I'd been to choir. I needed to get out. Thank you for helping me get through it all. You've seen it all. You can make your own decisions. Everything that has been stated is opinion only and not to be considered fact. So thank you all, and I will see you again tomorrow, hopefully with a new filing. So I'll catch you.